Okay. Uh, hello. Gonna switch over. Wrong one. Got there. That should all be nice and dandy. Hi, everybody. How are we doing? Welcome to stream. Just double checking everything. 'Cause new computer setup. Woohoo. Let's see. Hope you all had a great week. Let's see. Oh, excellent. Sounds crisp. Wonderful. Excellent. Fantastic. Amazing. Yeah, I'm running a little bit late because I did not realise quite what time it was. busy. So I had to quickly run and grab a tea. Oh, tea. Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna start in like a couple of minutes, so if you want to grab a tea and whatnot. Uh, yeah. Big stretch. 'Cause we're gonna be sitting for a while. Ugh. Yeah, I think I mentioned in the Discord I've got a new. Oh yeah, you graduate! Yay! Congratulations. um, yeah, I've got a new computer set up. It's so good. I've been playing Red Dead 2 and uh of course Veilguard. I haven't tried other games quite yet, but I'm just kind of focusing on them because they're the games I just invest the most time in. And oh my god, Veilguard looks so good. Like I think I mentioned in the pardon me, in the Discord, I tried fade touch graphics with HDR and just everything enabled, and I'm still going like an average of like 80, 90 frames per second. It's so beautiful. Oh, I could cry. So it's been good. I've just been playing about with that the last couple days, and then trying to get some more video script done. Oh, because I've been working on Veilguard, I've got this other script that I started a little bit ago, and I've restarted because it's about protagonists, particularly Dragon Age protagonists, and I know a lot of people don't like Rook. I really love Rook. I think they have a lot of personality, a lot of motivation, and they just got so much going on, especially in that first act. Like, I have a lot to say about it. But I've also got the Solus one to have. Well, you know how it is, I've got a lot of videos going on. It's just very difficult to concentrate when all the hot weather's rolled in and all you want to do is just bask. Yeah. So, yeah, I hope we're all doing good. Today we are going to be doing chapter 3 of Stars Arisen. I'm so glad I brought tea, because apparently my voice has decided it doesn't want to work. So I've got a cold drink and a hot drink. Just gonna pour that a second. Some quality stream content. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, chapter 3. What happened last time is chapter 1. I know you guys were there, but like, summary. Chapter 1, we're the daughter of this empress, queen, goddess who's to do with star magic. She got dethroned in the capital of cholesterol? I don't know what it's called. So we're going back to the main city to try and reclaim our mother's throne on her behalf. But we don't know how that story's going to play out. Chapter 1 was about resurrecting this dead guy called Vivian. Of course, I don't know why I just forgot that. Because he's the only one alive who knows how to get into the big tower that we need to reclaim, because that was the throne of her power. So he's following us around. We're probably going to romance him because he's great. Chapter 2, I believe we arrive in cholesterol. It'll tell me what the city's called in a second. It's probably on screen actually, and I'm just not seeing it. And we go to the tower, big fight. We meet a couple of other. I think we meet another romance option. The captain of the guard, I think. Then we meet Basil, who is our mother's ally. And yeah, he's like, yep, I'm gonna take care of you, kid. Come with me. Why the hell are you here, dumbass? Like, let's go. You're gonna get yourself in trouble. And we head back to his place. And yeah, the last thing that happened is we go to the house, and suddenly our main character Morrigan is having a bit of a have I been here before? And the chapter ended with you going up to the attic, I think it was the attic, and realizing this was your room or something like that. Oh, I've been here before. I've definitely been here before when I was like 3 years old, before we had to flee. So that's where the last chapter ended. Yeah, oh yeah, the last paragraph here. This is the rooftop you waited on the night your mother was thrown from the tower and the stars she'd snuffed out came back to life. And the person who was holding you so close to their chest, you think, suddenly, of breathing in time with a frantic, terrified heartbeat you've never remembered before. That must have been Baz. So, Baz was a kind of... that's how Baz knows your mother. He was like a caretaker figure, as much as we know so far. And then chapter 3! Yay! Chat, hello. I've just summarised everything. Hopefully I covered it for the most part. Oh yay, hi Lisa. Lovely. And we have apparently 5 people watching. Excellent. Cool. That means we have a variety in votes. Woohoo! So, yeah. I think I've summarised everything pretty well, and I think that's enough preamble, because I think I've been going on for about 10 minutes, yeah, but nearly 10 minutes. Okay, so I guess we're just gonna get to it. Yeah, chapter 3. I need to shift to my chair because my second monitor is is a bit over now. I'm going to be bragging about this till I die. I'm so happy with this new setup. I've never had a second monitor, so... Anyway, right, let's go. Chapter 3. Needed a quick drink. I can't see my mouse. Oh, it's on the other... Oh my god. No. It was on the other screen. God damn it. Okay, we have choices. Right, chapter 3. Stars Awake. Baz wasn't wrong that your days on the road would tire you, though you've never had occasion before to realise quite how much. You were weary enough when the coach would stop for the night earlier on in your journey, but that doesn't compare to the bone-deep exhaustion that sunk into you almost the moment you realised your travels were truly over. The moment Baz showed you to his guest room, you dropped onto the bed and fell asleep. And then you woke up, Skyrim edition. The sky outside your window is dark when you awake, though you can't tell precisely how long you've slept. You find a plate of cold supper outside your room when you crack open the door. Bread and jam, and what you think is some kind of spice cider. Okay, I was going to say, yeah, no, we're 25. I think we're allowed to drink. Thanks, not dad, for beer, basically, for breakfast. Baz must have left it, though he made no attempt to wake you unless you slept through it. He didn't so much as knock on the door. He was very quiet earlier, after that meow? After that moment on the roof. 2 moments, priority kitty. Yeah, you want out? Or do you want cuddles? What do you want? You want out? There you go. Have fun. Goodbye. Goodbye. The goodest boy. I don't know if you guys heard the meow, but he's so happy. He's just woken up from a big nap. He's probably hungry. I better leave out cider and bread and jam. he's old enough to drink in cat ears, you know? Okay. Where was I? That moment on the roof. You take the food back into your room to eat, tracing the fingers of one hand over the furniture with a hunk of bread in the other. There's no light. There's enough light from the moon outside to see a little. A thick quilted bedspread, a pile of pillows, a chest of drawers for your meagre belongings, and a shelf with more books than you've ever seen in one place. Can we even read? Does Baz normally keep such a trove in his guest room, or were they left here for you? Let me... Yeah, I've got the actual state, okay. Had to check stream there. Once you've eaten, you're left in an odd position. It's clearly too late to explore the city, and likely too late to disturb Baz. But you're too restless to get back to bed after sleeping through the latter half of the day. You fall to contemplation. Oh, cholesterol, not cholesterol. I'm tempted to call it cholesterol. No, I think we need to call it cholesterol. We need to give this the sober appreciation that it deserves. You fall to contemplation of cholesterol and your place in it. It's clear already... Okay, here's the options. It's clear already that Baz's plans for your mission are different from your... Really? That's clear? Are different from your mother's, that he intends this to be a longer endeavour than you expected. I see. Time to get to know the city and the people in it. You've never quite had that sort of opportunity before. The chance to build a connection with someone other than your mother. I was about to sing, "Mother knows best, listen to your mother." That's kind of the vibe. It's not the sort of thing the sorceress ever encouraged, even when you ventured down to a role. What sort of relationship might you like to build? So guys, romance? Option 1. The idea of romance fascinates me, emotionally, physically, in every way possible. 2. I might pursue a romance, should the chance arrive, but physical relationships we're choosing our sexuality, okay. But physical relationships hold no interest for me. 3. Romance might interest me, but I'm not sure about physical relationships. Perhaps if I got to know someone better. 4. I don't care for romance, but I might like a purely physical connection. Nice. 5. I'm not interested in either romance or sex. Friendships are the only sort of friendships I'd ever seek. Friendship is the best ship. Yeah, I like this variety. It's kind of refreshing in a game for it to just go, yeah, go be what you want to be. This is it. Make your choice. So what do we think, guys? What kind of person is Morrigan in her romantic endeavours? Or not romantic endeavours. Although I don't think you guys are gonna pick don't romance. Because Vivian is very likeable. Free. One or free. Two or free. Okay. I'm seeing a lot of frees. Yeah, I don't think there's smut in this guy, so you don't need to worry. I'm not concerned, but yeah, okay, let's go with free. I think people really like free. Yep, we might get a romance if we... Basically, we're demisexual. Maybe. Something like that. Your mother spent the whole of her reign with no consorts, no companions so far as you know. Still, though it wasn't a subject the two of you discussed often, because that's kind of awkward with your mother, you don't believe she'd place any similar restrictions on you, as long as any partners you sought held the proper allegations. So long as any partners you might have the proper allegations against them. Oh my god. Held the proper allegiances. Allegiances, allegations, pretty much the same thing. I think, maybe, I haven't done all the romances, but I think number one might have just been, there might have been something very close to smut. What's it called in fanfiction? Like, you have lemon, which is full on explicit, and then you have lime, which is, I think lime is more fade to black kind of scenes, so, I don't know. I haven't done that one. Well, the explicit one. I've not seen that. No, yeah, where was I? Allegations, of course. Allegiances, of course, which might be a different structure to me. Structure, got it. Structure, not structure. Words. Words are hard. Still restless, you set your... There's 4 options, I can use a poll! One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Add another option. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, no, only 4. Just 4. Yes. Quote unquote I'm aware. I'm going back to like mid 2000s kind of references to that kind of fanfiction, so I don't know. 2010s. Right, still restless, you set your dishes aside on the chest. It occurs to you as you do that there is one place you could still go to at this time. Back up to Baz's roof. Option 1. Yeah, there are 4. 1. Then I can get a better view of the stars. The window in here is much too small. 2. Then I can move around properly. I was hoping Calestri would be less cramped than our cavern. Cavern. 3. Then I can think, what's happened between Baz and my mother? Why did she trust him with her child when the rebels attacked? 4. Actually, I just want to search for Baz or Vivian to talk to. I'll work my way down through the house. Ooh, a tie. Oh. Guess who needs to get out the coins? Ooh, fun. Hopefully I do not spill my drink on these. Where's my D4? Okay, gonna ignore 1, so let's see. Number 4. We're gonna search for Baz or Vivian. Oh, I better end the poll. Right. Oops. 2 seconds. Fiddly hands. You know what? I'll keep that out. You make your way out the... Wait. You make your way out your door and up the final flight of stairs. Did I click the wrong one? I might have clicked the wrong one. If Baz is still awake, he's giving a little sign of it. You can't hear a sound anywhere in the house. He did point out his bedroom just before you fell asleep earlier. A thick wooden door at the far end of the hall. It's shut now, but you don't know if that's where he is or not. The night air on the roof is cool. Yeah, I might have clicked the wrong one, guys. Oops. The night air on the roof is cool as you push open the door. Perhaps you should have wrapped up. But for a moment, you're too lost in memories to feel the chill. It's still not quite like it was up here on the night your mother fell. The moon and stars cast too much light. Back then, you really couldn't see a thing. There's one... words. Today words are hard. There's one other notable difference from that night, you know. Vivian seated on the handrail, staring down at the city beneath you. Vivian. Option 1. How are you feeling, Vivian? Better, I hope? 2. Careful. You don't want to Careful, you don't want to fall, she says to the ghost. 3. I can leave if you'd rather be alone. 4. Vivian, good. I had more questions for you. 5. I don't say anything. Maybe he hasn't noticed me yet. I know which one I'd pick. Actually, I like all of them. They're all quite... Well, maybe not number 4. I don't think he's in the mood for being pestered with questions. This isn't Solus. He's just kind of having his moment. I see. 1-1. I see. Okay, consecutive ones. Let's go. How are you feeling, Vivian? Better, I hope? Feeling, Vivian repeats. Oh, Christ. Meditatively, got it, without turning around to face you. Come here. Wait. Come here, touch that. Oh. Okay. He lifts a hand to wave at the rail beneath him, then grips it tightly again, curling his legs against the lower bars. Obligingly, you step forward and place a hand against the metal rail. Cold? Vivian asks. You nod. It's not quite freezing. Yeah, there's 5 options. It's not quite freezing, but it's near enough to it. Wouldn't have known that for certain if you if you hadn't told me, Vivian says, voice turning darker. So that should tell you how I'm feeling. Oh, baby! That should tell you how I'm feeling. Vivian goes... Thank you, Car. Vivian goes quiet, and at first you assume you're in for one of his long silences, but then he says, so, suppose you want to talk about those idiots at the tower. That wasn't actually the main reason you came, but now that he's brought it up, it's hard not to be curious. Vivian gave his life trying to steal the remnant stars. Surely it's at least a little odd that he's so upset about another group of people doing precisely the same thing. But though he brought up the topic, you're not certain how much further he intends to discuss it. It's hard to tell with Vivian. Option 1. It seems like the reminders are trying to avenge you. Why does that bother you? I'd be thrilled. 2. Come on, you've got no right to criticise them. They're taking the exact same risks you and I are. 3. Not measuring up the legacy, not measuring up to the legacy you wanted. Fair enough. They don't seem like much. 4. It's alright if you're overwhelmed. You're going through so much. But why exactly do they upset you? 5. Not really. Not unless you want to talk about those idiots at the tower. 5. Come here, touch that. Oh, just you. See if we choose Vivian as a romance. Just you wait. He is such a sweet romance. I feel like I'm hyping him up far too much, considering there are like 4 other options. I'm biased. 4, 4. 5, 4, 4. Okay. Not really, not unless you want to talk about those idiots. Yeah. Not unless you want to talk about those idiots at the tower. Vivian snorts. Yay, we got him to laugh. Wait. I picked 5, I'm sorry, I picked 5. It was roughly the same thing. Sorry guys. Vivian. Numbers aren't good either today. Vivian snorts. Can't believe I'm saying it, but I think I actually do. Ah. You raise your eyebrows expectantly. Vivian stares out at Calistri. At the distant lantern lights below you, at the ponds reflecting the sky. When you brought me back, he says quietly. You said everyone knew my name, I thought. He shakes his head. It was stupid, but I thought that meant they'd know who I was. Yeah. I'm gonna be more careful with what I pick, because I've misclicked twice, I think. 4 options? Nah, 5, okay. Look, Vivian says, and then falls quiet again. Like he isn't sure what to say. I wasn't going after the stars because they belong to the people, or whatever that Natalia woman was talking about. Pretty sure they belong to the sorceress, last I checked. But giving things to the people they belong to was never really my concern. He exhales, his body as still as ever, even though you can hear the sound of his breath. As a ghost. Mostly it was the opposite. You were a thief, you say. That much you know already, of course. Your mother mentioned it often enough. Right. Vivian's grip on the handrail tightens. His fingers are starting to pass through it, but you don't think he's noticed. And I went after the stars for the same reason I went after practically everything else I took. Because someone was paying me to do it. I didn't want things. Definitely didn't want the people to have them, whatever that means. I wanted to give them to the lady who hired me, and get what she promised me. Which was a lot, mind you. Wouldn't have done something that stupid for less, he scoffs. She didn't think it'd really kill me to touch them. Said the sorceress made that up to scare people. But with how much she was offering, I barely cared. He looks straight at you for the first time, like he's expecting a reaction. There's a harsh brightness to his eyes that you haven't seen there before, something that cuts through the emptiness. I cared about the money. That was it. Whatever story the remainders made up about me, about freeing Calistri from the sorceress, about who deserves the stars, it doesn't have anything to do with me. Do you get it? 1. Sure, I get it. 2. What happened to your patron? She should have been punished too. 3. How was that worth the risk? If you were such a good thief, surely you could have gotten other jobs. 4. It wasn't at least a little bit for the thrill. 5. You must have had a hard life to turn to something like that. They're all good options, and I'm gonna triple check to make sure I click the right one this time. At least it's inconsequential actions I've messed up with. Okay. Free. Okay. We're gonna go to free first. Make sure it's on it. Yep. I don't know why I was just thinking of a Christmas song. Let's not hum Christmas songs. It's nearly July. June. Big stretch. Hello? Oh, there's the mouse. I will say I really like that there's a lot of Vivian scenes. I think that's why I romanced it, because the game kind of focuses on him mostly at the start. I'm just gonna assume people are super busy and away from devices. So I'm kind of hesitant to pick free and move forward because I don't want people to miss things. I think I might just pick free. I'll give it another minute. I'm gonna organize my dice first because I know I'm gonna come across things. And my coin. Come here, coin. There we go. Doo-doo. 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 I really should make this coin. I see, free. I really should make this, like, Dreadwolf coin into a necklace because it's got the little hole at the top for a necklace to be put through it. I love it. Anyway. Free. Okay. I'm that's gonna be the vote. Number 3. How is that worth the risk? If you were such a good thief, surely you could have gotten other jobs. Okay. Sure, I could have kept nabbing trinkets. Or I could steal the remnant stars and be set for life. Fair enough. Vivian says, relaxing just a little. There's 5 options. Yeah. Let me scroll down. Scroll. There. Okay. Or people in my profession don't live long, obviously. Better to take what you can when you can. So sometimes that means taking a risk. He gives a long, slow sigh, turning back to look at the tower behind you. I just don't get where they came from, how they got it so wrong, the grim reminders. His mouth twists in disgust. Disgust. Stars. The name. Can't believe they're making stupid jokes on top of everything else. Baz said he thought they were your nieces and nephews and the like, plus a few generations. Plus a few generations, you say. Yeah, that's the part I don't get. Vivian folds his arms across his chest. Had a brother. Oberon. Oberon? Is that how you pronounce that? Oberon? Oberon? No, there'd be a comma if there was... not a comma, but... Oberon. I'm gonna say... Oberon? That sounds wrong though. Oberon. He was little when our parents died, and there was one thing I was good at, so I started thieving to keep us fed. And then I grew up, and he was too good for me. Found someone respectable who'd marry him, said if I didn't turn honest, he'd have nothing more to do with me. And he meant it. Never talked to me again. I heard that there was a baby, my niece, a few months before the tower. Didn't hear it from Oberon. Ugh. His scar flashes. Whoever those people are, they're nothing to do with him. Swear it on my life, if I had one. He's fading around the edges again, blending into the sky. 1. Maybe we can find out more about them. 2. It was 100 years ago. No way to tell exactly what... No, pardon me? No way to tell exactly what happened, and it's not why we're here. 3. Well, you did die. Maybe your brother regretted how he'd left things. 4. I'm sorry, Vivian. 5. I reach out to hold his hand and let it linger there significantly for as long as I can. Aww. I quite like 5. 5 is sweet. Do you think his hand is just gonna pass through then? Five. Okay, I think 5 is winning. Yeah, I like 5. Sometimes words don't need to be said. I reach out to hold his hand and let it linger there, significantly, for as long as I can. There's something of substance beneath your hand. Not warm like a living person's skin, but not as cold as you'd expected either. For the moment at least, his touch isn't fading away. Morrigan, Vivian says, his voice catching. You don't need to do that. But he doesn't pull away. You realise, after a moment, that you're not sure he's ever called you by your name before. After a long moment, Vivian pulls himself down off the railing, brushing unnaturally against the ground. You should get some sleep, he said. I've just woke up. Here you need that when you're alive. With that, he vanishes once again. You find, in the sudden silence, that you're more tired than you'd expected from simply walking upstairs and having a conversation. And you return to your room to do as Vivian says. The fog has dissipated by the next morning, and you don't... What am I saying don't for? And you look out on a city alight with sun. It's not long after sunrise, and you're much hungrier than you were last night. You head downstairs, wondering what arrangements Baz has made for breakfast, to discover him standing at the bottom of the staircase, holding out a blue ceramic mug. Aww. Coffee, he announces. Yay! Coffee! Not sure how much of it you'll have seen in a roll, and I know you won't have had it at home. But people here are wild for it since the Assembly struck the new trade agreements with Thierry, and it started flowing in. Coffee houses up and down the streets. You blink at the dark brown liquid in the mug, still waking up and still accustoming yourself to Baz's apparent disregard for traditional morning greetings. You should try it, Baz says, pressing the mug into your hand. You're from Thierry, remember? So you'll definitely be expected to have an opinion. Fair enough. Expected to have an opinion. You're welcome to despise it, but you couldn't have grown up there without tasting it. Stimulating stuff. Better, but I can sweeten it if you like. The scent is strong and definitely unfamiliar. If they have coffee in a roll, you never stayed long enough to run across it. 1. I drink eagerly. I love trying new things. 2. I drink agreeably. I'd like to get on Baz's good side. 3. I drink reluctantly. I don't usually like unfamiliar food and drink, but Baz's advice seems sound. 4. I don't drink it. I don't trust Baz, and I don't want his help. 5. I don't drink it. I don't like the smell. If it were me, I would politely sip at it. And then, if it's coffee, imagine trying coffee for the first time. Oh. Ugh, what a horror. Oh, my tea is cold enough to drink now. Yay! 2. Okay. There's my thing. 1. I see. I'm not gonna lie, I love coffee. It makes me feel ill because when I do start drinking it, it's like an addiction. I will not stop. Like, if I start drinking coffee, I won't have one coffee. I'll have like 2, 3, 4. In a day, I might have up to like 5 or 6 coffees because there's addiction. Yeah, of course with sugar and milk. You know, actually, maybe not with sugar. I have actually taken to spending a ridiculous sum of money on honey. Like, nicely, like, special honey, like, what's it, it's kind of like in Stardew where you can scent it with, like, certain, flowers or herbs, but that's what I just add to my coffee now, and it's so yummy. And it's so not good for me. Yeah. Me and coffee have a love-hate relationship. It's anyway, 2 wait, so I'm trying to work out the numbers. So it's 5, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1. I think we're gonna go with, well, we're gonna try it, so let's go with 2. I think 2, 1. I drink agreeably. I like to get on Baz's good side. The mug is warm in your hands, but not so hot that you can't drink from it. See, I'm immersing myself. I have a hot mug in my hands right now, but it's not coffee, sadly. Coffee would not do my throat well right now. It's so, but it's not so hot that you can't drink from it. You raise it to your lips, breathing in the bitter smell as you do. Option 1. It's awful. I thrust the mug. I throw the liquid at Baz. How dare thee! I thrust the mug back at Baz immediately. It's awful, but I'll keep drinking it to be polite. That would be me. It's fine. Drinkable. Can't say I feel strongly about it. 4. It's alright, but I'll take Baz up on the offer to sweeten it. 5. It's delicious. I can't believe I never got to try this in a roll. Headcanon. Yeah, I wonder what their agriculture is like near Calistria. I mean, if they've got a trade deal with a place that grows coffee, like, surely they have farm animals for milk. I read that as Tabitha flavoured coffee, and I'm just got so confused. Tabitha flavoured coffee? Huh. I don't know that flavour. Oh, you know what? Related to coffee. Lately, I've been really obsessed with like Costa coffees. Not Starbucks, because they're so expensive. But Costa coffee's like what was it? A chocolate fudge frappe with a shot of coffee, of course, because if I'm getting a coffee, I want coffee in my coffee, even if it's a cold brew. This is what happens when you don't use commas. But I love that. It's just so sweet. It's so nice. That, and I think what was it? It was like a layered iced coffee. It had like the cream stuff at the top, the milky cream stuff at the top, then the coffee layer, and at the very bottom it had like lavender syrup. Oh my god, it was so nice. It was probably my new favourite. But it's such a small amount they give you, and it's so expensive, but it's so good. Ugh. I think, yeah, no, I cannot recommend enough, like, lavender syrup. It smells nice, it tastes nice. I kind of want one now, but it's a bit late. I might get one tomorrow. Anyway, I think I'm trying to go back up to read. I don't think we're gonna say it's awful. I think let's go with, I'm seeing the number 5, so let's just, yeah. I'm sure it's nice. I'm sure he already put milk in it. So, yeah. Maybe he put creamer in it. Ooh. I'm craving a coffee now. Oh. Blueberry and chocolate dip. Oh. Pistachio. Oh my goodness. The possibilities with coffee. But yeah, for 100%, I recommend, if any of you, even for any kind of flavoured hot drink, lavender syrup, mwah, chef kiss. It's so nice. Anyway, it's delicious. I can't believe I never got to try this in a roll. Woo! White chocolate mocha. Oh, that must be so sweet. Oh, chai lattes are really good. You know what? How I make coffee? I've got basically a Lucanus living with me. So he really likes making like proper, from the coffee beans, like the whole process. I'm terrible. I'm uncultured. I like instant coffee because it's quick and it just gives me that hit. Don't get me wrong, like the expensive coffee bean whole process is so nice. Like, he makes the best hot drinks. But yeah, I'm an uncultured swine. I just like instant coffee. Because it's quick and convenient. It's probably the most working class thing I've ever said. I could have this really nice thing that is available to me, or I could have the quick thing that's gonna make me slightly less happy, but still happy. Right. There are 4 options. I was gonna set up a poll. A French. Ugh. You guys are so lucky. You have like these cool items to make nice things. I'm sitting over here like, I've got a kettle. Woo! It's so much work to making nice things. Like, I've gotten better with it, with like making food and stuff. Like, 2025, I will say, as shitty a year as it is so far with the world. I have been trying like to make more things, like go out of my comfort zone with making nice drinks, making nice food, and it turns out it is kind of worth the effort, which is baffling to me. Anyway, yeah, there's 4 options. Let's see. Let's get back to reading before we go on an entire. Oh, right. Whoops. There we go. The dual monitors, I accidentally put the thing on in front of the other one, so it covered up the screen for me a sec. It does look like it's still showing up. Oh. See all this talk, I'm probably gonna immediately make a coffee, either midway through this, or I'm just gonna, after, just make like a dozen coffees and just line them up while I work. Anyway. Baz lifts his eyebrows at your eager second sip. Like it, do you? Interesting. A lot of people have to accustom themselves to it. But by all means, have as much as you like. Yay, we made Basil happy. Basil? I'm saying Basil now. Oh. He chuckles. Well, maybe not as much as you'd like. It can make you a bit jittery. Oh my goodness, don't get me started. He shows you to what seems to be a breakfast nook. What is a breakfast nook? A small table with 2 chairs near the front window, then excuses himself. You glance out the window, studying the autumn leaves and the people already bustling by. Baz returns shortly, bearing another mug of coffee and a plate of muffins, laden with what look like dried apples and nuts. Ah, I mean, I guess it's healthy. Can't stand this stuff myself, so forgive me if I seem skeptical. Baz remarks as he slides into the chair across from you, though his expression... I think I can scroll... Yeah. Though his expression as he sips at his cup betrays no distaste. But it's wonderfully enlivening. You'll be amazed. Really gets the mind working, which is the sort of thing I have to... Oh my goodness. Which is the sort of thing I have need of. There we go. So alas, I endure. He pulls a muffin from the plate, gesturing at you to take one as well. Now then, enough about all that. I assume you're familiar with the Gravedigger's star. Oh, right, with the Gravedigger's star. Of course you are. The solemn Gravedigger, the last of Viseron's patron constellations, and the only one yet to drop a remnant star. Each of the previous stars fell at the opening of a century, and as the present one is coming to a close, your mother says the Gravedigger's star will descend at the start of the next year. The elemental powers the stars embody all exist to some extent within each of them. But this one is bound to the earth, and will greatly strengthen your abilities there. It's a little hard to say why Baz is bringing up the topic now, though. The new year is months away, and your mother certainly expects to be restored to power restored to power well before then. You'd been expecting he'd have more to say about the tower. Baz appears to be genuinely waiting for an answer, though it's occasionally difficult to tell with him. The look in his eyes is more intense than you'd expect for a casual question. He seems to be evaluating you in some way. 1. I am. What of it? I just stare at him. 2. I've been familiar all my life. I'm not an idiot. And I also know it's not falling for months. I roll my eyes. 3. Yes, Mother did go on about that. Go on about it. But the fall is months away. I wave a dismissive hand. I am. I lean forward. But I don't know why you're asking. It won't be here for months. Yeah, ugh. Yeah, there's so much food I want now. I hate it. Ugh. Either you're reading about it or you're watching it, like, in a show and you're just like, oh my god, that looks so yummy. Ugh. I'm trying to think what I have to eat after this now. Damn it. I'm gonna sip my tea and not think about it. I see. It looks like 4 is going to win. Let's go. 4. I am. I lean forward, but I don't know why you're asking. It won't be here for months. Well, allow me to tell you, Baz says, smiling. It takes another swallow of coffee, and while his face still betrays no taste, you do notice that he follows it with a bite of a muffin rather quickly. So I think your mother may have given you a mistaken impression. Calestri hasn't just been awaiting her return, you know. It's been tying itself in knots, though of course everyone thinks it's building itself back up. If you and your mother are going to have half a chance at taking the city back, you have to persuade them that it's what they want, or it'll all fall apart. Make yourself known, make yourself liked, and that takes time, certainly long enough for the gravedigger's star to fall. Frankly, I advocated for your mother to send you a year or 2 ago, but she was adamant. Another sip of coffee, another bite of the muffin. Stop drinking and eating. I'm hungry. But as for why it's particularly relevant today, the Astral Assembly has finally come to a decision about what they're going to do with the star, and they're announcing that decision this afternoon, which gives you a few marvellous opportunities and puts me in something of a bind. Tell me something, Morrigan. What is it that you think I do? Oh boy. As before, it takes you a moment to realise he's finished spinning out a series of thoughts and is actually giving you a chance to respond. You serve my mother, of course. 2. Do you work for Captain Martin Ghislaine? 3. Something where you talk a lot, undoubtedly. 4. You told Captain Martin Ghislaine you'd have warned them about the grim reminders if you knew. Are you some kind of spy? 5. I don't know. Mother never told me, and neither have you. The cheek. Oh, is that no? There. I just noticed that it wasn't perfectly on screen. Oh, 1, 4. Oh. 4. Okay, I think 4 is winning. Okay, I think we're gonna go with 4. Definitely clicked on 4, yep. You told Captain Marden Ghislaine you'd have warned them about the grim reminders if you knew. Are you some sort of spy? That's an interesting word, Baz muses. Not the one I'd use, I don't think. But you're not entirely wrong. The fact of the matter is, I do whatever's required. But that was actually a bit of a trick question. My nominal profession isn't something you'd have heard of. I write for the I write for the Calestri Comet, the newspaper. I do actually know about that, sir. Oh, I can pick poll. I can use a poll. Woohoo! Any opportunity, we need to do the poll. 1. I have heard of the newspaper, actually. 2. I have heard of the newspaper, actually. I spoke to a man named Harper Yara in a role the other day. 3. I stay quiet and let Baz make his speech. I wouldn't let him make his speech, I'm not gonna lie. He seems so excited. Just quietly sip coffee and let him, yeah, tell me this thing I already know. Yep. I think 2 is winning, so... Yep, 2-1. Okay. I have heard of the newspaper, actually, and I spoke to a man named Harper Yara in a role the other day. Gasp. Really? Baz's eyebrows go up, and the surprise looks genuine. Yes, wait. 4 options, I can pick another poll. Yay. Woohoo. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There we go. Okay. Really? Baz's eyebrows go up, and the surprise looks genuine. Yes, he and Prudence were out there for the fall, weren't they? That was an unpleasant shock. Prudence in particular, but I figured Harper would rein them in before they caught on to anything worth knowing. They weren't sniffing around your mother, were they? You reassure Baz that you... blah 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 blah. You just ran into them when you stopped in town. It takes longer than you expected for him to accept the explanation. He really is unnerved. Baz takes a second muffin. Baz, are you okay? Well, anyway, I don't suppose you'll know the details. It all started close to 30 years ago, right around when rebellious sentiment in the city was starting to get truly bad. A woman named Saki Yara invented an apparatus called the printing press. Gasp! Not certain they have one in Roll, certainly not more than one. Impressive device, prints a great deal of text, uniform and much faster than human hands. Could have been marvellous for your mother if she had gotten her hands on it, but Miss Yara's sympathies unfortunately lay on the other side. She started letting the rebels print bulletins condemning your mother, very elegant sentiments about her tyranny, and sending them all over the city. The sorceress had to lock Miss Yara up. But she never did get around to executing her. Oh, Jesus. So she's just been in there that whole time. The people of the city are rather touchy about executions since your friend Grimaldi. Oh. I wonder if he's still listening in this whole thing, or is he still, like, up on the roof? So after the rebellion, the rebels released Miss Yara, from the dungeon, and she set up her empire, the Comet. She and her legions of children and grandchildren... She's just the first Talon, isn't she? She's Katarina. She and her legions of children and grandchildren print out the news of the day. Well, except for blades and poison, it's just bulletins. A strongly worded essay. I mean, it could do just as much damage, I suppose. Well, whatever their donors persuade them is the news of the day, and send it all around the city, and so they need people to write up their stories. And one of those people is me. Of course he's a writer. Of course he is. Baz grins. It's a wonderful excuse, truly. A reason to go all around the city, talk to all sorts of interesting people, and learn all sorts of interesting things. Quite a lot of which never do end up in the comet. He clears his throat and takes a long drink of coffee. Awful stuff now. Now then, back to the Gravedigger's star. You know how hung up the assembly is on hiding away the stars, I'm sure. Well, Renard Ghislaine and Nobu Marden and their friends are hiding away, so I'm sure. Well, okay, so they are, okay. There are other people in the assembly too. People who are oh, I thought I said keep on arguing. Who are keen on arguing that the stars could do real good. Rao. Okay. Ravenna Rao's Rao. The name I'm okay, I swear. Ravenna Rao's the name you'll hear most often. Their factions have even acquired names. Renard and Nobu have the Naturalists, keen on returning the world to its natural order without the stars and all that, whereas Ravenna champions the Harnessers, which rather speaks for itself, harnessing the stars' power for ourselves. And so they've been arguing over the Gravedigger star and what's to be done with it for months from now. Done with it for months now, and today they mean to announce what they've decided. And so your friend Harper Yara, who's the Yara, the Yara currently trying to run the comet, okay, has asked me to get down to the tower and speak to Renard and the Nobu and Ravenna, and speak to Renard and Nobu and Ravenna about their decision. To write it up in the comet afterward, and therein comes the first part of the bind. 1. Why are you doing this? If the Yaras are rebels, you shouldn't be helping them. 2. That's fascinating. Can you take me to see the printing press? 3. Going around the city talking to people, that sounds like fascinating work. How is that a problem? 4. How is this a bind? Are you in trouble? Are we in trouble? I do think it's super cute that the idea that Morrigan's just like, a printing press? The written word? Gasp! Yes, I'm so excited! I want to go see all this stuff. Real people? Civilization? Oh my god. She's trying coffee for the first time. She's having a healthy she's starting to have healthy relationships for the first time. She found out the printing press exists. She's doing, a freebie tie. Ooh, okay. I'm gonna ignore 1. Oh, fell off the table. Ignore the 1. Got 2. So it's gonna be number 2. Fascinating, the printing press? Wow. That's fascinating. Can you take me to see the printing press? Just ignoring everything else he says. She's just excited. Baz laughs. Oh boy. Options. Baz laughs. Oh, I need to end the poll. Oh, there we go. There. Baz laughs. Perhaps you can go see one yourself. I've a little more to say. You make a lot of connections in my line of work. The best way to get at the heart of the city is to strengthen those connections. And the best way to strengthen those connections is to pass along some of that information I mentioned earlier that doesn't end up in the comment, oh my god, Comet. Comet. I make friends, I do favours. I suppose you could say I play the city against itself. Pardon me. It's not about cutting everyone down, it's about helping the right person at the right moment, for them to push someone else that much closer to the edge. And when the whole city's dangling from a cliff, well, that'll be the perfect moment for you and your mother to step in and pull it back. Ooh. Yes. Treachery! Manipulation! Hell yeah. His gaze drifts for a moment out the window towards the street, and then he turns back to you and claps his hands together. So, therein lies the rest of the bind. I've made a couple of other promises for the day, and I'm afraid I won't be able to make every appointment. Our friend Emeraldine... Ooh, Emeraldine. Wow. Our friend Emeraldine is concerned that the grim reminders will take an announcement about the Remnant Stars as an opportunity to stage one of their dramatic riots, and has asked me to find a few likely recruits to bolster the Sublime Guard's ranks against them, and the illustrious Ariel Grimaldi. Huh. I don't think that's the same one as before. No, it was Natalia Grimaldi was the other one. Okay. Ariel Grimaldi, whose daughter right, got it. Just read ahead. Whose daughter Natalia, you may also recall meeting yesterday, has asked me to drop off a few more fragments of the Remnant Stars. I assume that would be so that they can, in fact, stage a riot exactly as dramatic as the Emeraldine fears. Finishing his muffin, Baz folds his hand on top of the table, giving you a serene smile. 1. You gave them the Remnant slithers? Slivers? Sliver. Not the. Got it. You gave them the Remnant slivers? That's such a weird word. But they could have been hurt. They could have died. 2. You gave them the Remnant slivers? Ugh. That's treason. Mother will kill you, and she'll be right to. 3. You gave them the Remnant slivers? To push the city toward that cliff you mentioned? I suppose. Clever. 4. You gave them the Remnant slivers? Even if you want to cause chaos in the city, that's far too dangerous. 5. You gave them the Remnant slithers? That's wonderful. I think they'd do more good with their power spread around. I don't know. I think we should have all the power. I think we should betray literally everyone and become master of the universe. But of course I'm playing this with a bunch of pacifists, so I don't think we're gonna go for that option. Kill, escape, and kill everyone! Ooh. 3, 4. Pacifist game, yeah. It'd be so funny if you do all these pacifist options only for it to backfire and you get the worst ending possible because you weren't willing to make the sacrifices leadership requires. Although I will say I noticed, because this is on Steam, it does have what are they called? Not accomplishments. What are they? I'm blanking on the word. Oh, what's the word? Ugh. Well, what's it called? Achievements. Accomplishments. Achievements. It has achievements, not accomplishments. Soulless, is that you? Yeah, it has achievements. So it does have achievements for the endings, and I did look them over, so I know what the endings are. I'm not saying anything. Reverse psychology. You know what? Being the good guy doesn't mean, just because you're a good guy doesn't mean you're a good. Just because you're the good guy doesn't mean you're a good guy. There we go, got there. Right, so 3 or 4. I don't think you voted Tabitha. I think your vote is going to be the deciding factor. Unless you pick something that isn't for, oops, 3 or 4. Just because you were a good guy does not mean you were a good guy. What is that? No, that was bad guy. No, I think. Oh, it's from an animated film. Is it? Oh. Just because you're a bad guy does not mean you're a bad guy. Ah. 3? Okay, for number 3. What is that from? I think it's from Tangled, but I could be completely wrong. I have not seen Tangled in years. Or is it from, like, Megamind? Oh my god, that's gonna annoy me. Anyway, number 3. Number 3, my lord. You gave them the remnant slithers to push the city toward that cliff you mentioned? I suppose. Clever. I've completely misread that. To push the city towards that cliff you mentioned, I suppose. Clever. Well, thank you, Morrigan. Baz says, grinning. One does often go unappreciated in a position like this. Your mother gave me— oh, there's 4 options. Like a dog, just squirrel. Okay. Well, thank you, Morrigan, Baz says. One does often go unappreciated in a position like this. Your mother gave me a supply of the fragments before she fled the city for emergencies. No, it didn't kill me to touch them, though I never do it for long. Perhaps the danger to mortals comes with longer exposure. We're moving the goalpost to the rules here, aren't we? Or perhaps they're perfectly safe. I don't know if even your mother knows which it is. Oh. They're dangerous for mortals to use, certainly, when they don't understand the power they hold. So that part is hardly a lie. Anyway, when the remainders really started making noise, I thought I might as well give them what they wanted. Either they'd all blow themselves up and Calistri would see that only your mother can wield them properly, or they'd tear down the assembly to pieces and Calistri would see that only your mother can keep the city properly in check. And if occasionally I get wind of their and if occasionally I get wind of their plans and pass a tip along to Emeraldine, well, I can't have the remainders getting too powerful either. For the first time, the serenity of his smile looks distinctly cold. This, then, is the man your mother told you that you could trust above all else. Dun dun dun. Option 1. His strategy is cruel, and more than that, I can pick apart the holes in it. 2. His strategy makes perfect sense, and I'll give him some strong words of support. 3. I don't like this, but I don't want to let him draw me into an argument. I'll just press on. 4. He has the right idea, but I don't like his methods. If it were me, I'd confront the traitors head on. Of course you would, Morrigan. Of course you would. Yeah, nice doesn't mean good. My cat can look up at me with big kitty eyes. That's nice. Doesn't mean he's been good. Oh no, he's puked on the floor while we were asleep. Damn it, cat. Meow. Okay. I see. Oh. Oh. Indecisive, are we? Okay, freebie time. I am going to roll the dice. I'm going to ignore number 4 this time. Number 1. Oh, wait. Are those the final decisions? Okay, number 1-1. So I'm going to end the poll there. His strategy is cruel, and more than that, I can pick apart the holes in it. Cat in a box. I love that cat in a box. Is it an emoji? Is that what you call it? I feel so old suddenly. Emote. That's what. Okay. You frown. But what if you actually do end up helping people? If the Grim Remainders learn how to use the stars? Cat. Thank you, cats. Woo! If the Grim Remainders learn how to use the stars to help the city, and no one wants your mother. Wait, and no one wants Mother back at all. Baz laughs brightly. Forgive me, Morrigan, but it's abundantly clear you haven't been in Calestria long. If that happens, then I'll redouble my efforts to send the Sublime Guard after them. But it won't, because the stars are too powerful for mortals to wield. For anyone but you and your mother, I'm sensing this is partially propaganda. Like, are you sure? Are you really sure? He's clearly very set in his perspective, and you can't figure out how to change his mind. I just don't see why you have to hurt people to help Mother. 2 minutes, I think I'm gonna sneeze. No, I think I'm fine. No. Oh, I hate that. When you gotta sneeze, but you don't sneeze. Just do it. Oh, look at all those lovely cats. Anyway, I don't think I need to sneeze. Okay, you murmur. Think of it as keeping them from hurting themselves. Ugh. See, now it feels dirty. Think of it as keeping them from hurting themselves more in the long run, Baz says, with a kindly air. Regardless, speaking of your mother, I ought to let her know you've arrived. Okay. Okay, there's 5. Okay. It's an odd enough remark to bring your thoughts to a sudden halt. Let her know? Let her know how? Via smartphone, Morrigan. You've been away quite a while. Here. Bring. She just... But it's like early mobile phones, so it's a flip phone, so it's just like, what's the sitch? You suppose it's possible... Wait, let her know how? You suppose it's possible he could send some kind of message to Earl, but who would deliver something to your mother other than you? It isn't as though you could go... I swear to God, if it is a mobile phone. It isn't as though she could go to town and pick it up herself. Baz pauses in the act, and standing from his chair, she didn't... But whatever he was going to say, he cuts himself off. Well, come along, let me show you. I swear to God, if it's a telephone. I bet it is. Just send a quick Discord. It's Snapchat. She's just sitting here. Come on, Morrigan. Selfie. Put a Snapchat filter on it with like little cat ears and stuff. Oh my goodness. Anyway, he leads you back to the sitting room from last night. The one with the scorch marks on the floor and the ceiling. Bending to a table in front of the dark blue sofa, Baz fiddles with the knob of the drawer and something clicks. A panel opens on the table's underside and Baz draws something out. A clay tablet, you realise. Not much larger than the palm of Baz's hand. It's a phone! And a metal stylus along with it. Oh my goodness. Did your mother not tell you that we have the internet? What? I've been living in a cave. Oh my goodness. Your mother has a connection to the earth of the sea. Even beyond her connection to the even beyond her connection to the stars. Baz says, sinking down into the sofa. She pulled this and it's oh my god, it is. Of course it's okay. She pulled this and its pair from the earth beneath the tower itself years ago. Your mother has the other, and she poured enough magic into them that the bond between the tablets persists. Even with the other outside the city, with her of course. Very difficult magic, even for her. She never could manage more than a few of these experiments. Baz taps the stylus. I can't take it I can't take it seriously. It's so stupid. I love it. Against the couch cushions, then glances up at you. You've never seen hers, I take it. Walkie-talkie. Do you think they just send messages like, hey, how you doing? It is like literally just Discord messaging each other. Sending each other like memes. Oh my goodness. You haven't. Your mother's had a means of communicating with Calestri all these years and she never told you. It answers a few questions about how it was that Baz and your mother talked without you knowing. But they're starting to pile up. The things your mother never told you. Words carved into one of the slabs fade and appear on the other, Baz says, returning his gaze to the tablet in his lap. It takes time for messages to pass between them, and you can see that they're not large, so it's not terribly efficient for longer missives. But it serves well enough for sending a few words at a time. It is. They're sending memes. I wonder if they do XD and all that. Like, do they draw cats to each other? That'd be cute. He spins the stylus in his fingers and starts to carve something. Anyway, anything you'd like me to pass along? Aw. Option 1. Yes, tell her I love her. 2. Yes, tell her I love Calestri. 3. Yes, tell her I hate Calestri. 4. Yes, tell her to stop keeping secrets from me. Ooh. 5. No, nothing. Starlink. Character limit. Oh my god, it's Twitter. It's like a two-way Twitter communication. I mean, I guess Discord also has a character limit, doesn't it? Send her the cat emoji. Send her the cat in the box emoji. Oh my goodness. Number 1. Okay. Wait. I don't know if those 4s were for this or something else. What is everybody's options? I can't. Yeah. Hi, Mother Cat Box. You see, that's why she never told Morgan about it, because she knew she would just be sending her stupid memes and cat emojis while sending him them. Four wins, yeah, okay. That, 1, 2, 3, 4. Definitely this. Yes, tell her to stop keeping secrets from me. Baz pauses. Okay. And he's scratching for a moment, the stylus hanging in the air. Once you've retaken the city, I believe that's exactly what she intends to do, he says, busying himself with the tablet again. I'm sure she doesn't enjoy it, keeping secrets from you. Is there 4? There's 3, I get to make a poll. Woohoo! I mean, you have to ask the question, why exactly is she keeping all of these secrets from us? Busying himself with the tablet again. I'm sure she doesn't enjoy it, keeping secrets from you. But I oughtn't. Oh, that's so. But I oughtn't to try to speak for her, and I'll pass the word along. Baz writes quickly but deliberately, working the clay with practiced ease. You suppose it must be part of the magic, a type of magic your mother never taught you, that's kept the clay soft and pliable all these years, rather than hardening with age. When Baz is finished, he slides the tablet back into the hidden compartment below the table, so quickly that you can't possibly read what he's written. Aww. Heart emoji. So quickly you can't possibly read what he's written. All you see are several rows of small, precise writing and just a few words that catch your eye. A bit displeased. A bit. The carvings still look deep, and you realise Baz said it would take a while for the message to fade. Oh. Right, that's done, Baz says, fiddling with the drawer knob again and coming back to his feet. Now then. Oh, do you think we can get Vivian to go sneakily read it? Oh, that'd be good. Ooh. Right, that's done. Now then, I'm sure you've guessed where I was leading earlier, if I haven't managed to distract you. I have 3 commitments for the day. Regrettably, I can't make all 3 of them, but between us, I believe we can manage 2. Helping the Sublime Guard protect the Tower Plaza. Carrying our contraband to the Grim Reminders, or bothering the Assembly with the Comet. What's your preference? I'll give you first pick and choose from the remainder. And someone will just have to be disappointed, and that suits my purposes nearly as well sometimes. He gives you an expectant look as you work on accustoming yourself to the pace at which he conducts conversations. Oh. I see. Number 3. Ugh, I'm so glad I made a tea. Delicious. The Grim Reminders are descendants of Vivian's, well, his brother. So they want to take the remnant stars and give them to the people. So they're rebelling in that way. The Sublime Guard... Wait. So, yeah, the Sublime Guard, they guard the tower. I don't know what else they do. They just guard the tower. And the Assembly are effectively the ones making the decision. They're the government. I think the Sublime Guard are the ones either guarding the Assembly or guarding the Remnant Stars. Or the Slithers, or whatever they are. Ooh, gifts. I'll check them out after. Yeah. I mean, we're effectively going to see the other romance options as well. There's one in each, I believe. So we help the Sublime Guard with blah blah blah. Yeah, I mean, it's a weird situation. So either we help the Sublime Guard to essentially anti-rebels, bring their help the rebels, or we try and, I believe, if we interview the assembly delegates for the newspaper, I think we're gonna get closer to Harper, who's the guy from the beginning who was working for the newspaper. So I think we're gonna probably run into him. And I think that's just information gathering more than anything else. Well, I think number 3 is winning, so I think we'll go with number 3. It's a long story. You'll find out about the rebels eventually. I want to interview assembly delegates for the newspaper. What is it about the Calestri comet that's caught your attention? Well, guys, what has caught your attention with the Calestri comet newspaper? 1. I'd love to learn more about a new invention, like the printing press. Oh, actually, fair enough. Lines up. 2. It's less intimidating. I'm not sure I can handle fighting alongside strange rebels or fighting them off. 3. I'd love to talk to the assembly members. I'm sure it'll be fascinating. 4. I don't like the idea of morals spreading rebellious ideas around. I want to know how to put a stop to it. 5. I like talking to Harper Yara back in a role. I'd like to know him better. I mean, we talked to him for like a minute. I think we talked to their sibling a lot more than him. Prudence, I think it was. 3, 1, oh. Deciding vote. Sip, sip, sip. I'm wondering how this chapter is going to end, because all of them so far have left on some kind of cliffhanger. And I'm just checking the time. It's approaching the 2-hour mark for stream, and these last an average of 2.5 hours. Which is nice to have that average for each chapter. But, I'd like to ask the government some uncomfortable questions. Me too. Let's make them sweat. I think I am leaning towards free, actually. I think I am gonna go with free, because I think she's already expressed an excitement for the printing press, but she's also excited to figure out what the hell's going on. Oh, 1? Oh, okay. The chat has decided. I've got my hands raised in the air. The people have chosen Okay. Well, she has expressed a desire to see the printing press. She needs to know. Splendid, Baz says, clasping his hands together. Is that... No, that's 5. Okay. I'll send word ahead to Harper so he knows I'm sending you in my stead. Yay! Now, any idea where I ought to turn my attention? I'd be happy to hear your thoughts. What, you said you would choose, sir? Don't make me choose. You give the matter some consideration, but it's hard not to let your thoughts wander to that table and the message to your mother within it. If you can puzzle out how to open that hidden compartment... Oh. Vivian! Use Vivian! He can put his hand through things. Do it! And if you can get Baz out of the way, you might be able to read it for yourself. But it won't be... Oh, maybe that's the cliffhanger. But it won't be easy. You'll want to be sure you have a good sense of the intricate contraption's design. Option 1. Go find someone to help the guard. Seems like the least work if you do it quickly. 2. Go find someone to help the guard. They need to make a strong showing against those insurgents. 3. Go see the Grim Reminders. I bet you can learn a lot from them if you're careful. 4. Go see the Grim Reminders. I'm sure they can do amazing things if someone helps them out. 5. I don't care what Baz does. I just want him gone so I can unravel the mechanics of that secret drawer. I mean, no way does Basil, as savvy as he is, not consider the fact that we're gonna try and, like, loot. No way. Like, we're not a kid, but, like, the last time he saw us, we were, like, free. So he's... No way does his mind not go... I mean, you're basically still a kid. No way are you... I've locked something in front of you that you're interested in. Yeah, sure you're gonna try and open it. Duh. 3, 5, 4, oh goodness. Okay. Alright, I'll ignore 1 and I'll roll the dice. Number 3. I'm just realizing I haven't assigned the numbers to the numbers, so 3, 5, okay, so it's, we're gonna go with number 3, which in the third order is number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Go and see the Grim Reminders. I'm sure they can do amazing things if someone helps them. Maybe Morrigan is feeling a little bit rebellious now because she's upset with her mum. Baz chuckles, and you're not sure if he's taking what you said in exactly the way you meant it. You know, I'd rather think they can. Very well, I'll go in on the reminders. I'd very much like to see what Ariel thinks of that stunt yesterday. Baz disappears momentarily, saying something about finding someone to carry word of his plan to Harper. It doesn't take him long. Right, he announces, showing you the front door. Not far to the offices, the end of the street. 4 blocks, right, left, big pale coloured building, you'll see it. Harper should have my message by the time you get there, and he'll have more instructions for you. I'll be off too, in just a moment. He claps you on the shoulder and opens the door. Alright, kiddo. I'm off to work. Good luck out there. Okay. The door has only just closed behind you, and you're still blinking at the morning sunlight when Vivian appears at your appears at your side. Something about it feels something about it feels a little smoother than his previous arrivals, like he's slipped out between 2 breezes rather than shuddering uneasily into the world. I don't know what this is about. The newspaper. he says. He offers no other preamble, apparently expecting that, by now, you'll assume he's watching you invisibly. Do what you want. I'd rather follow you than hang around the sorceress's weird henchman, but I don't see much point in showing myself, he says, uneasy. Yeah, Vivian! Let's go! Option 1. Fair enough, you might start disappearing anyway. Oh, that sounds rude. 2. You're not interested? I don't know much about it either, but it sounds fascinating. 3. Does it bother you? Would you rather I do something else? 4. I wish you wouldn't eavesdrop on my conversations. No, I wish you would eavesdrop more. 5. That's too bad. I'd appreciate having you there with me. Aww, I like number 5. I think he literally... No, because we were sleeping and he was out on the balcony trying to touch random objects. So I think when we're doing things, he's always there, even if he's not in the narrative. But if we're like asleep, he's not like just standing over the bed watching, like, wake up, wake up, wake up. So yeah. I see. Number 3. Yeah. What does everyone think? Option 3 has been the first. Let's see. Personally, I like number 5. I mean, he kind of is there with us. He's just, yeah, 5. 3, okay. 5 is super cute, but chat has decided it's number 3. Yeah, no, we're looking at, maybe he is gonna be there with us. Like, I am there, you just can't see me, which is nice. Does it bother you? Would you rather I do something else? Wouldn't have been a bad idea to get a look at the tower. Suppose maybe you'll do that anyway, if that's where the assembly is, Vivian shrugs. But he's not quite looking at you. Doesn't bother me. Just don't see the use in it. There are multiple options. Oh, look at this 5. He gives you a quick nod and disappears as quickly, as he arrived, leaving you to walk the rest of the way alone. You follow Baz's directions, just as he said. It's only a few blocks to the place you're looking for. A wide wooden building painted in a pale tan, 3 or 4 stories tall. You could see a variety of people rushing in and out the door. All ages, from an elderly woman to a boy who doesn't look much older than 12. Some laden with books and satchels or odd metal apparatus, and some carrying nothing at all. Determining that the Comet's offices have something of an open door policy, you enter without knocking. Where's my mouse? There it is. Inside of the building is just as bustling as the outside, though the front room seems to be more of a transitional point than it's like a vestibule than the focus of activity. Several of the visitors are heading for the door to the back room. Others to a side passage that seems to hold a staircase. The clanking and grinding of machinery surrounds you from both directions, and you find yourself wondering how Baz can concentrate on writing here. In the confusion of the crowd, it's a little hard to discern any of the features of the room you're currently standing in, though you can make out at least one row of desks and a set of shelves against the wall. And very suddenly, a brightly smiling man standing directly in front of you. Though how he even noticed your entrance amid the mob is something of a mystery. Good morning. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're Baz's relation, aren't you? Morrigan Celeste? I can certainly see the resemblance. As promised, it's Harper Yara, the man you met at the festival in a role. Somehow, he looks as neatly turned out now as he did then, black hair combed and collar smoothly turned down. The only signs of the surrounding chaos on his person are a few splashes of ink on his sleeve. He seems to recognise you just a moment after you see him. Oh, I know you. We spoke in a role, didn't we? You ought to have mentioned Baz Dexter was your uncle. Abruptly, his expression fades from cheerful welcome to concern. I hope Baz isn't too ill to be left on his own. His note said it was nothing serious. His note said it was nothing serious, but you know how quickly these things can turn at his age. Jeez. 1. Good point. We probably ought to get this over with quickly. 2. No need to worry. He's not that old. 3. So long as I'm here to take his place, that's not really your business, is it? 4. Oh, did he say he was sick? No, he's fine. That was a lie he told you to get out of this. 5. Yes, he's fine. Well, what was that about? A resemblance? Oh. 2. 2. Okay. 2 wins. No need to worry, he's not that old. After a startled moment, Harper's look of polite concern cracks with a loud laugh. Well, so long as you're sure. I mean, I don't think she is. I don't think she knows how old he is. One of the women rushing past grabs Harper by the arm, and he leans back for a moment to speak to her in a murmur you can't quite make out before turning back to you. I just realised, if we end up romancing Harper, Vivian's gonna feel super awkward just privately third-wheeling any dates we have. Well, I guess any other romance option. I think we kind of have to romance Vivian. Anyway, before turning back to you, sorry, my grandmother's experimenting with her latest modifications to her press upstairs, and you've caught us in the middle of printing this morning's broadsheets. Have to make sure everything's done before the afternoon so we can start all over again with the news from the conference, which is why you're here. How much did Baz... Harper is cut off by a yell from the back room that somehow manages to pierce through the rest of the noise surrounding you. It sounds like there's some kind of shouting match going on. Though you can't tell what's being said, you might have expected Harper to ignore it as easily as he pushes past the rest of the commotion. But when you look back at him, you see his jaw tighten for just a moment, then relax. My apologies again, Morrigan, he says, his tone even. This is a sentence I wish I were less accustomed to saying than I am. But I have to go make certain one of my younger siblings hasn't struck the other upside the head with a type case. Jesus. I love this is basically her first look at what a normal family dynamic is. Outside of the relationship she has with her mother. So it's kind of like... so violence is normal? I mean... I don't know. Maybe it's just a polite thing you say, like, oh, well, your pet cat, like, oh, your cat has your eyes, kind of thing. Like, of course, you would say, oh, of course, you have your father's chin, blah, blah. It doesn't matter if you do or not. Who knows? Maybe it could mean something, it might not. Yeah, anyway. You aren't certain if Harper expects you to follow him or not when he sets off for the back room. But as an there's 4 options. Yeah, sure. 2 and 3 and 4. I love polls. Woo! You aren't sure if Harper expects you to follow him or not when he sets off for the back room, but as the alternative is being left alone in this rush of motion, you hurry after him. The room beyond the entrance, you quickly discover, is dominated by an enormous wooden machine. where long sheets of paper are being fed into the centre of a device operated with a rotating lever. Every part of the mechanism seems to have someone designated to attend it, and there are stacks of paper and long boxes positioned all around the room. It's more complex than anything you've seen in a roll, and for a moment all you can do is stare. 1. What in the world is that thing? Well, obviously it's the printing press, woman. 2. Whatever that is, it looks amazing. 3. Is that some kind of weapon? 4. Is that the printing press? Is it some kind of weapon? Yeah, it's paper. The written word, the most dangerous weapon. 4. It seems 4 is winning. Okay, well, yeah. How could it not be the printing press? Urgh. Yes, of course it is, Harper says, though his attention is already directed toward the 2 people you heard arguing. They're some ways off from the sheen near the door. One of them is Prudence, standing stony-eyed with their lengthy braid wound around their head and their arms folded across their chest. The other is a man much nearer your age. Gesticulating and pacing in a tight circle. Both of them strongly resemble Harper, though the man in particular could almost be a taller, ganglier, and significantly less composed twin. A weird way to describe someone. Right, introductions, Harper says briskly. Children, this is Morrigan Celeste, Baz's substitute. Morrigan, you remember Prudence, and this is my brother Sterling. Oh, Sterling, what a name. They're having their daily schedule philosophical differences. Prudence is trying to get us all executed, Sterling declares, still pacing. You mean imprisoned? The Assembly doesn't execute people. I mean, neither did her mother, but... Prudence drones. Stop calling us children, Harper. I'll stop calling you children when you stop shouting at each other in front of the printing press, Harper says. Speaking of the Assembly, you might remember I have somewhere to be today. So if we could get this settled, please. Sterling thrusts a handwritten sheet of... Is there 4? Oh, there's 5. Sterling thrusts a handwritten sheet of paper at Harper. Look. Look what I caught them trying to sneak into the print. Oh my goodness. Look what I caught them trying to sneak in to have printed tomorrow. Prudence, you know I have to approve everything. We've had this conversation. Harper says as he scans the document. Is dire confederacy the turn of phrase we want to use for the leaders of our nation, do you think? The turn of phrase isn't what I'm worried about, Sterling sieves. They're all but stating outright their ridiculous theory that its members of the Assembly are funneling the remnant stars to the grim reminders. Prudence frowns. Did I not state it outright? Harper, let me see that. Unflinching, Harper stretches his arm to hold the paper above his head. Prudence, you know perfectly well that we're not going to send this out for the whole city to read. You have no source for any of it. The source, Prudence says, is that it's the only thing that makes sense. You know I've investigated both inside and outside Calestri and come up with nothing. So it has to be coming from the tower itself. Who else has access to the upper levels? Harper just sighs, lowering the paper to glance at it again. In the silence, you're very aware that you know exactly who is smuggling remnant stars to the grim reminders, though you can't give Baz away without upending all your mother's plans and probably losing your place to live. If you did want to steer people toward the truth or stir up the chaos Baz wants, getting people thinking about the topic might be just the thing. Then again, with your own connection to the stars, perhaps it's best that the people of Calestri look into the matter as little as possible. Ooh. 1. I think you should print it. If something as dark as that is happening, it's worth the risk for people to know. 2. This is a business, isn't it? I'm sure the masses would pay to read something like that. So print it. 3. You can't print it if you don't know if it's true. That's lying. And that's you can't do that. It's illegal. That's lying and you deserve what you got for it. Oof. 4. Don't print that. You shouldn't defy the assembly like that. It's not our place. 5. Don't print that. Yet. If you're onto something real, don't give it away. Not before you're sure. Mm. 5. Okay, 5 is winning. Don't print that yet. If you're onto something real, don't give it away. Not before you're sure. Is there 4 options? But no, okay. Both of Harper's siblings turn to you with a jolt, and you realise you're not certain either of them actually noticed your arrival. Oh, I've been introduced and everything. Ah, Harper, Sterling says. Who did you say this is? Relation of Baxter. Relation of Baz Dexter's. Just arrived, Harper says. He sounds rather absent, his head still bent over the document in his hand, but just visible over the paper's edge, his eyes are intently focused on you. Are you sure about that? Sterling asks, giving you a suspicious stare. You're not, say, an actor Harper hired. Okay. Prudence snickers, though it's clearly against their will. It's clearly against their will, and they cover it with another glower in Sterling's direction. Children, Harper says again, lifting his head from the document. Why would I hire actors to lecture? Oh, right. Why would I hire actors to lecture you when that would mean giving up the chance to do it myself? He shoots you a fleeting smile, then turns back to his siblings. That said, I gather it won't. That said, I gather it won't surprise you when I say I agree with Morrigan. If you had evidence for any of what you've written here, I'd be very interested in seeing it. But you don't, so I'm not. So you want me to tear it up and start writing for the society pages or something? Prudence mutters. No, I don't want you writing for the society pages, because I rather like the comet and I want it to survive, Harper says cheerfully. He holds the paper out to Prudence. What I want you to do, Prue, is find me some evidence, and certainly don't tear this up. The opening sentences are quite good, and you could easily reuse them. Prudence blinks a few times, then nods. Snatches their work from their brother's hand, and stalks away. Harper, Sterling says, pleading in his voice. You can't be serious about this. What's Sterling hiding? How serious I am depends entirely on what Prudence shows me next. It could very well be even worse, so chin up. There's a vague attempt at consolation in Harper's voice. With that, he catches your eye and nods back toward the door you came in. 4 options? 5, okay. Harper guides you back for the Comet's front offices with the same ease he showed navigating them before, though the commotion is nowhere near calming down. At one point he vanishes from your side and reappears a moment later wearing a long dark coat, and you have no idea where he pulled it from. There's a small bound book tucked in one of the front pockets, and he's still idly passing a pencil between his hands. Nicer day than yesterday, isn't it? I'm sure the delegates are pleased, he comments as you emerge into the sunlight. Sorry for the delay back there. Honestly, I don't really know where Sterling gets it from. Whatever you might have heard about Calestri, we haven't lived under the kind of threat he talks about for years. I can't remember more than a few flashes of the sorceress's reign, and he's a year younger than I am. So it's hard to see how it made such an impression on him. He shrugs. Prudence came along well afterward, of course, but I doubt it would even make much of a difference with them. They're rather young to be writing for the comment already. In the last time my mother was in the city, she said we had to give them a job or they'd get themselves stabbed in an alleyway for asking the wrong questions. I mean, they're in the right job, I guess. Admittedly, this doesn't seem like exactly the right job to prevent that kind of thing. I mean, I'm sure they're having a great time at it though, getting paid to do it now. But perhaps she thought it would help if we were supervising them. Are you supervising them? You ask. The two of you turn the corner toward the tower, and Harper gives you an enigmatic shrug. They're actually a very good writer, you know, he says, which isn't exactly an answer to the question. Uh-oh. 1. The only thing I remember about the sorceress's reign is the last night, the fall. Oh. 2. Do you really run the comet? You seem a little young for it. 3. Do Sterling and Prudence really fight like that all the time? Shouldn't you do something about it? 4. Can you tell me a little more about the newspaper? I'm not sure I understand it all. 5. How well do you know Baz? How long has he worked for you? I think 1's winning. Yeah. The only thing but we're giving away that we were here when we're from Thierry. You know what? You guys have spoken, we're picking that one. The only thing I remember about the Sorcerer's Reign is the last night, the fall. Really? Harper asked lightly. Baz's note mentioned you're from Thierry. The technical details have always escaped me, but I didn't think the effects of the Sorcerer's magic spread that far. My parents and elder siblings mostly work abroad these days, selling the presses and starting up more newspapers, and the impression I get from their letters is that she's quite the mystery everywhere other than here. Interesting. You almost miss a step, but manage what feels like a fairly quick response. Oh, I grew up in Thierry, but I was actually born here. That's the stupidest response. Just say you heard about it. You didn't even... Morrigan! All you remember about the sorceress is the night of the fall. You didn't say... Headache. Morrigan's giving me a headache. I was actually born here. Hopefully that doesn't spoil anything else Baz has planned. You're sure he'd very much prefer that you keep your story straight. Fortunately, Harper either accepts your story or isn't interested in questioning it. His gaze strays from you for a moment. A lot of people remember the fall quite vividly. Sometimes I'm almost disappointed I missed it. Missed it? You blink. The sky lit up for the first time in days. How could you have missed that? Well, by not looking at the sky. Okay. His tone is still casual, but his posture is a little stiffer than before. The sorceress had my grandmother... Oh. The sorceress had my grandmother imprisoned, you've probably heard, for using the press to help spread rebellious sentiment. The sorceress was furious at her. The rumour was that she wanted revenge. That she'd come for the rest of us next. Drama. We spent the last few weeks before the fall hiding in a friend's basement. Jesus! Mother and father wouldn't even let us out into the air again until the next morning, until they were sure the sorceress was really gone. About that. He laughs suddenly, an incongruous sound. Now that I've said it out loud, I suppose that's probably where Sterling gets it from. Yeah, oh my goodness. 5 option, okay. Don't take this the wrong way. Oh god. No offense, but... Yeah, but there's gonna be offense. We know this. Don't take this the wrong way, Harper adds, as the tower looms large ahead of you. But I'm not sure you're precisely the person I'd have chosen as a replacement for Okay. As a replacement for Baz, which isn't a slight against you, it's just that Baz has a certain familiarity with the issues we're going to discuss that I get the impression you haven't mastered quite yet, having arrived in the city yesterday. It's a little hard to tell what he's getting at. He looks just as friendly as ever. Would you rather I go find someone else? No, not at all. No time, and besides, I actually think the perspective of a newcomer to the city could add a very interesting dimension, Harper says. But I think I'll be sticking by you when I might have let Baz run along on his own. I just wanted you to know why. I mean, I think we need to be extra cautious because this is a guy who clearly is investigative. And if we give him much more reason to be suspicious of us, he's gonna look into that. And then we're out. Especially since Morgan's mother did that to his grandmother. Like, uh-oh. Harper has a way of staring at you for just a beat too long in quiet moments, judging your reactions in some fashion and giving you no indication whatsoever of his verdict. After another moment of this... Wait, was there... Oh, I just wanted to... Yeah. Whoops. After a moment of this, he adds, So, a quick primer on some of what you'll be hearing. There are 2 delegates I'm particularly interested in speaking with today, Renard Ghislaine and Ravenna. I thought it was Ravanna. Is it Ravenna? No, it's probably Ravenna. I'm gonna say Ravenna Rauer. I'm gonna say Ravenna's name like Rauer. Sorry, I think you guys are reading ahead, but I'm just easily distracted. In addition to his particularly famous exploits, Ghislaine these days is known for leading the faction in the Assembly that wants to keep the Remnant Stars shut away where they can't cause any harm, whereas Rauer has recently come into fame as the champion of the opposing party. One that believes we can take advantage of the stars' more benevolent powers as long as there are reasonable limits put in place. Baz told me a little, the naturalists and the harnessers, you say, nodding. And of course I knew about Renard Ghislaine anyway. He led the rebellion. Revolution, Harper says. Oh. What? You can't say exactly what it is that makes Harper's smile seem so sharp. Each individual component of his expression is as friendly as ever. I'm sure they don't teach you this in Thierry, but people in Calestri call it a revolution. Ooh. The sorceress called it a rebellion. Be careful, or people might start calling you a loyalist. Uh-oh. See, I told you he'd catch on quick. Anyway, 1. You're right, they didn't teach me that in Thierry. 2. Don't worry, I'm not one. Everything I see in the city convinces me more and more that I don't want to be like my mother. Ooh. 3. Don't worry, I'm not one. That's a lie, of course. But I can't give myself away just yet. 4. Are there many of those around today? The sorceress's loyalists? 5. Right. Sorry, I'll remember. Back in those back to those factions. So the harnesses agree with the grim reminders. 2, 4, 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Dice roll. 4. Okay, 4. Oh, are there many of those around today? The sorceress's loyalists. Oh, that's a lot of S's. I bet you the cat's gonna come now. He shrugs. I'm sure there are, but most of them don't advertise themselves. There are no laws against them speaking their there are no laws against them speaking their minds if speaking's all they do, but it doesn't tend to win you many friends these days. Harper keeps up a steady stream of amiable chatter as he leads you to the tower. There's a rush of activity in the plaza as you walk past the statues, people milling about, already as grey-cloaked guards arrange a mass of benches. The guards outside the front door are clearly familiar with Harper. They exchange nods with him and step aside to let the two of you enter. The walls inside the tower gleam silver as well, though fainter than the outside, just a shade brighter than common rock. It reminds you of home, aside from the doors along the front corridor and the lit lamps that line the walls. Straight ahead from the entrance is a round open chamber, filled with desks and benches circling its centre. People are clustered around the desks and consumed in conversation. This must be where the assembly meets. Once you enter, a mural surrounds you, a flash of lightning against a dark sky. A group of armed warriors advancing on a brightly glowing woman. Her features are indiscernible amid the lightning that clashes around her, and the immediate familiarity stops you in your tracks. Oh, 4 options. Oh, a snake. Yeah. Oh god, I would love a snake. I would love a cute little hog nose. 4 options. Woo! You only have a moment to stare at the painting of your mother before Harper taps your shoulder. Right. There are targets. We may only have time for one before they hurry us along. I'll let you pick. Ugh. Who would you rather speak to? He points out 2 people amid the rushing delegates. The first is a man, tall and fair and striking, surveying something on a desk with his hand at the small of another man's back. That must be Renard Ghislaine. I can't unsee, oh, what was it? Wait. Gaspard? Is that his name? Yeah, Gaspard. Right. He just looks like Gaspard. That must be Gaspard Ghislaine. No, wait. Was his last name even Ghislaine? I'm a terrible Dragon Age fan. Renard Ghislaine. The resemblance to M and to one of the more prominent statues outside is remarkable. You assume the other man, small and darker, and leaning comfortably in Renard's arm, is his husband, Nobu Marden. As you watch, Renard throws back his head and laughs at something you can't hear. You're sure he must be over 40, if he led a rebellion more than 2 decades ago. But otherwise you would guess younger. The second must be Ravenna, seated on a desk across the room and declaiming to 4 or 5 other delegates. Her skin is a warm brown, her thick, dark brown hair bound in a bun, with a few strands falling loose in front. The energy in her expression is clear even from this distance. She's younger than Renard, not much past 30, no more than a decade older than you, and probably less. 1. Delegate Ghislaine, I want to look in the face of a man who overthrew my mother. 2. Delegate Ghislaine, whatever else he's done, I appreciate that he understands the threat the stars pose. 3. Delegate Rawr. Her ideas sound fascinating and I want to know more. 4. Delegate Rawr. She's clearly dangerous, and I need to understand what I'm dealing with. Oh, it was Vivian's... I was gonna say, is it Vivian's lover, or was it Gaspard that I'm thinking of? It was one of them. It was one of the French guys. Or Legion. Mm. Oh, I'm gonna quickly look up what was Gaspard's like surname. I just looked up Gaspard, and of course I didn't get the result I wanted. Why did the internet not know what I was thinking exactly? Gaspard. Deschalons, of course! Durr! Deschalons. Oh. Yeah. Oh, it's a... yeah, Deschalons. 2, 3, and 4 tie. Okay. I get to use my fun dice. So 2, 3, or 4. We're discounting 1. Okay. It keeps wanting to pick 1. Okay, pick 2. So, yep, we're gonna go for 2. Delegate Ghislaine. Whatever else he's done, I appreciate that he understands the threat the stars pose. I'm gonna put that dice out of the way because it's distracting me. Oh, there's 4 options, yay! Wait, I could've... wait. Yes, end poll. I'm getting too excited over here because I get to make so many polls. Woo. I'm gonna quickly turn on my light because it's immediately gotten dark suddenly. You can see 2 of them probably. Let's see. Can that fit on screen? There. No, you can't. Never mind. Right. Back in a sec. There we go. Light on. Huh. Right. Ow. Both Renard and Nobu look over with interest as you and Harper approach. Nobu says something to Renard, quietly enough that probably like, doesn't that look like, you know... quietly enough that you can't hear even as you get closer, and turns to go. Just a second, Mr. Yara, Renard calls over, stifling another laugh. Give Nobu time to flee before your onslaught now. Oh, are you reading ahead without... okay. Spoiling it for me. Just a second, Mr. Yara, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Harper obligingly stops in place, lifting his hands as though in a gesture of innocence. Nobu looks backward with a quick wave for Harper and an unimpressed glance at the grinning Renard. Then continues making his way through the crowd of delegates. Harper beckons you onward again. Harper, Renard continues warmly. Folding the document he and Nobu were examining and tucking it into a desk drawer. How are you? How's your grandmother? I'm very well, thank you. Okay. I'm very well, thank you, Harper says, pulling the book free from his coat pocket. As for my grandmother, she's locked herself in her workshop, and I haven't seen her in days, but judging from the noise coming from upstairs, she's doing just fine. Spinning his pencil in his fingers again. He looks at you and adds, I should make introductions. Ray, this is... Oh, I believe I can guess who this is, Renard says, cutting him off. Baz's niece, isn't it? I've heard all about Morrigan. Oh boy. I just read ahead. It occurs to you that the most likely person to have told him about you is M, which doesn't necessarily bode well, but his expression is just as genial as before. Yes, the resemblance is remarkable, Harper agrees. It's the second time he's mentioned that, you remember. Does Baz really look that much like you? That's all. If nothing else, it seems to be helping your story. Anyway, Baz is indisposed, so Morrigan is here to help me ask a few questions if you still have the time. I always have time for you, Harper, Renard says. His gaze shifts again to you, his eyes the same green as M's. And I'm very interested to see how much this one takes after her uncle. 1. This man hurt my mother and I want him to pay. I'll press him until I find weakness. 2. I like what I've heard about the delegate Ghislaine. I'll design our conversation to make him sound good. 3. I want to overturn this whole farce of an assembly. I'll talk circles around Ghislaine until the room is in chaos. 4. This is more intimidating than I expected. I'd rather ask Harper to handle this. I do like this situation where it's gone to the point where it's not just this fantasy story of going to reclaim your mother's throne. It's got so many complications to it. I really like it. I like that, we're actually seeing the other's perspective. We're seeing the rebellion versus revolution. I'm really enjoying it. Another tie. Oh my goodness. We're gonna ignore the 4. 2. Number 2 wins. I like what I've heard about Delegate Ghislaine. I'll design our conversation to make him sound good. We're remarkably charming. 5 options, okay. Delegate Ghislaine, it's such a pleasure to meet you, you gush. Oh, Delegate Ghislaine, it's such a pleasure to meet you. I've heard so much about you. All true. Okay, I like him. He winks, then breaks into a laugh. No, honestly, that's very kind of you to say. Aw. Okay, I like him. Can I romance him? Growing up in Thierry, I spent my whole life hearing stories of Calestri and the wonderful new world being built here. Now that you're not in thrall to that horrible sorceress, you go on pitching your voice to carry around the room, and so much of that is because of you. Oh, an exaggeration though, a terribly flattering one, Bernard says, definitely preening now. They praise your name up and... Okay, we're kissing his ass, oh my god. They praise your name up and down the coast, if my mother's letters can be believed. Oh wait, no, that's him. Okay, that's Harper saying that. Harper puts in from beside you. Of course, I shouldn't take up too much of your time, you say, straightening up. But I wonder if you could talk a bit. Wonder if you could talk a bit about what you have planned for Calestri. What else can you do now with that dreadful influence confined to the past where it belongs? Renard has quite a bit to say about Calestri's future. Grandiose plans for scholarships, for scholarship and trade, present and future alliances, art and philosophy. The remnant stars are notably the remnant stars are notable only for their absence. He doesn't even mention them as a thing of the past. When Renard finishes, you're startled by an impromptu round of applause from some of his fellow delegates. Delegate Rar is not among them, but she's decidedly in the minority. Behind you, Harper's pencil is scratching against his book. That was well done, he remarks. 1. Thank you. 2. I don't know what you mean. I was just having a conversation. 3. I really do admire him. Do you think I was lying? 4. Would you have done differently? 5. I'm sure you could do better. I'd like to see your work sometime. When he looks up, I let my Oh, I let my gaze linger significantly. Oh. Well, I'm 99% sure number 5 is starting some kind of romance. Okay, number 5. I will warn you, it doesn't work like Dragon Age. If you flirt early on, I think it does kind of lock you in. I can't say that with certainty though. No, it's too early, surely. Because we haven't even met all of the other romance options. Anyway, 1-1. Thank you. You're very welcome, Harper says, still absorbed in writing. He tucks his book away again. I wonder if Harper would not even notice if we tried flirting. He tucks his book away again, though he's still passing the pencil back and forth between his fingers. His hands. He's doing the weird thing, like... we should get out to the plaza, he says, nodding back toward the long hallway. Best to find places near the front. Ooh. Okay, there's 4 options. Woo! I don't know because I never picked flirt with anyone but Vivian, and I think Vivian takes a while. As all of the best romances do. There, 4 options. Okay. When you and Harper emerge from the tower, the plaza is a rush of activity, far more so than when you entered. The Sublime Guard has arranged rows of benches a quarter turn around the tower from the entrance, aligned before a podium atop a wooden platform. Harper is somehow able to navigate to seats only a few rows from the front, though he exerts no more effort than to murmur pleasantly to a few people he seems to know. You've only been seated a moment or two before Harper looks up with a soft noise of interest. You trace his gaze to M. Mardengislane, who's striding briskly in and out of the tower, barking orders to the guards in a piercing voice. Excuse me, I need to see if I can catch Captain Mardengislane before we get started. I've been hoping to have a word about yesterday, Harper says, pulling out his notebook and sliding out the pew as easily as he entered. Knowing them, a word is exactly what I'll get, but I do like to make the effort. Yeah, you can see all the options, right. Harper does indeed manage to catch M, appearing before them just as they return from another trip inside the tower. The plaza is too noisy for you to hear anything either of them says, but M is obviously far less graceful about being interviewed than their father. A scowl darkens their face and their immaculate posture crumples to a hunch almost the moment Harper comes into view. Harper's prediction proves true. It doesn't look like he gets more than 1 or 2 questions out before M determinedly turns their back on him and calls out to the audience that the delegates are nearly ready to begin. Bafflingly, after Harper ducks down the stairs, he winds up seated in the very front row, his ability to make a crowd part around him even more inexplicable than before. You haven't heard from Vivian since you left Baz's house, long enough that you've started to wonder if he's still hovering behind you. He probably is. He's just very sneaky. Then, just as the crowd grows quiet in the anticipation of the assembly's arrival, there's a coldness, yeah, of course, there's a coldness at the back of your neck and a hiss of a familiar voice. Still don't understand it. Machinery, writing, sticking your nose in tower business. Seems like a way to get into trouble, nothing more. 1. I jump. 2. I muffle a scream. 3. I hush him. There are people watching. 4. I don't respond. I love Vivian. I don't think she would... Personally, I don't think she'd muffle a scream. I think She knows he's there. Ah, I see. I think number 4 is winning it. I don't respond. Yeah. Unless anyone changes their vote. Alright. Well, number 4 wins it. By majority. I don't respond. When you glance back, there's no one there. You wonder if he ever appeared at all, or if he's learned to whisper to you without otherwise making his presence known. Oh, that would be so useful. As Vivian's chill fades from your spine, the crowd around you bursts into applause. The tower doors have opened, and a line of people... Yeah, there's 5 options. A line of people is descending the stairs. You recognise several of the delegates, clad in no particular uniform other than fine and neat clothing. They range from your age, or slightly older, to a few who must be over 70. If this is the whole assembly, it has 30 or 40 members, enough that you can't count the exact number. The majority file into a set of benches facing the audience, reserved in front of the stage, and 6 or 7 delegates ascend the platform. Ravenna Rauer is in the former group, Renard Ghislaine and Nobin Marden in the latter. The guards stationed around the plaza bend forward to hush the excited whispers of the people of Calestri. Renard Ghislaine is preparing to speak. 1. It's going to be interesting to hear how the mortals have chosen to govern themselves. 2. My mother never would have allowed... What? My mother never would have bothered with this. Her decisions were no one's concern but her own. 3. I like it, addressing the people this way. That's what I'd choose to do. 4. I'd rather not be here at all. I hate crowds. 5. Whatever the assembly's decided for their people, I hope it's fair. Democracy. Maybe. It might be democracy, I don't remember. It might just be talking at people and saying, We agree to disagree. Actually, no, that is democracy, isn't it? Is a 5-1. What is 5 and 1? Yeah, it's coming close to 10 now, so number 5. Okay, so I think something's gonna happen and it's gonna be a cliffhanger. Whatever the assembly's decided for their people, I hope it's fair. Good morning! Renard calls from the podium, set at the front of the stage. His voice is strong and clear, easily loud. There's 5. Loud enough to carry across the plaza. Or afternoon, is it? I suppose we've run over again. There's a smattering of polite laughter. Though some of Renard's fellow delegates are notably stone-faced. Oh. Well, apologies for the delay. I know you've all been awaiting the answer to this question as anxiously as we have. And we don't mean to make you wait a moment longer. We believe we found a way to put an end to the threat of the Remnant Stars pose. For good. Uh-oh. Gas spread throughout the audience. It's impossible to tell with so many people if the prevailing tone is dismayed, relieved, or simply astounded. 1. He's bluffing. No one could destroy the Remnant Stars, least of all a mortal. 2. He sounds so confident. Is it really possible he can do what he says? 3. He's an arrogant fool and he's going to pay for this. 4. The stars have hurt so many people, more than I knew before coming here. Maybe this really would be best. 5. If Renard disposes of the stars, what would that do to my mother? Is it gonna end with them pulling out, like, some weapon that's like, yeah, we've created missiles, we're gonna launch at the stars to destroy them. 5. Okay. 5. Okay, I think 5 is winning by majority. If Renard disposes of the stars, what would that do to my mother? You're all aware of the so-called miracles that scar each place the remnant stars touch the earth. The Torchbringer's wasteland, the traveller's ever-stormy sea, Renard continues. He does not, you notice, mention the servant's garden, neglecting the life the stars have brought in favour of the chaos and death. When the Gravedigger's star falls at the new year, there's every reason to believe it'll bring more of the same. And the scholars at the university are certain there's only one form that phenomenon can take. A vast chasm in the earth, deeper than human hands can dig, danger and destruction as the stars always carry with them. But this time, they've brought us a glimmer of light as well. We may not be able to destroy these abominations or send them back into the sky from whence they came, but we can do the next best thing, cast them deep into the earth, into the last wound they'll ever give to us, bury them beneath a shaft of rock deeper than this tower is tall, and seal them away from our home. That's not dealing with the problem, sir. Seal them away. We've been here with Dragon Age. Put them in the deep roads doesn't work. They'll come back out, or people will go down there. Seal them away from our home for the rest of time. Oh, there's 4 options. Excited noises. 3 and 4. Is there 4? Yeah, there is. I had to double check. For the rest of time. Oops. There's an outcry from the crowd. Shouts and calls so loud that you can't tell if the people approve or disapprove. The noise floods your senses for long enough that you don't realise at first when the audience's attention shifts from Renard's words to something else. Ravenna stood up from her pew and is pushing toward the stage past several other protesting delegates. Delegate Rao. Renard's voice is as confident and relaxed as it was a moment before. The Assembly has decided we'd rather guarantee Calestri's well-being for generations to come than risk one more second of horror. We've heard your objections extensively and we've voted. Please sit down. We've voted, yes, Ravenna Rao protests, her voice carrying as easily as Renard's. We've walled ourselves up in the tower, debated and debilitated, and decided on an ultimatum to hand down from on high. And we've done it all in secret. This isn't a decision to be made by the few, Renard. It's the future of this city you want to lock away. An eternity of potential to be put towards science, art, nature, medicine, rising to heights the sorceress never let us reach. And you want to hide it in a hole in the ground? The general uproar rises yet again, enough that you can't hear Renard's response to the challenge, though you can see his mouth shaping words as Ravenna continues to try to mount the stage. You're near enough to the front that you could insert yourself into the debate, arguing your mother's case, or join with one of her opponents. If you could manage to make your voice heard, and assuming that's how you mean to involve yourself. 1. I'll give a speech on my mother's behalf. The stars should be preserved, but she is the only one with the judgment to use them. I'll channel my strength and the wind through the stars to force Renard back from the podium so Ravenna can speak. 3. I'll call a lightning bolt with... I'll kill everyone! I'll call a lightning bolt with quick and subtle incantations and blame it on the reminders, proving Renard's point about the star's danger. 4. I offer to moderate a discussion, cleverly watching to keep things civil. The people deserve an open conversation, though my mother would disagree. Oh, number 2. Okay. Definitely clicked on 2. Number 2 is 1. Woohoo! I channel my strength and wind I channel my strength in the wind for through the stars to force Bernard back from the podium so Ravenna can speak. You take a deep breath and reach for your collar. In theory, this is one of the star's simpler applications. You're just bending the wind that's already present in a certain direction, pushing it where you want it to go. It shouldn't attract any particular attention. The question is more if you can keep your concentration strong enough. Clutching a slither tightly, you look straight at Renard and imagine yourself pushing back against his chest. For a moment you feel the power of the wind pouring through you and toward Renard, but then it all falls away to little more than a breeze. It's a simple work of magic, yes, but it still needs nearly all your power poured into it. Power you're beginning to realise you don't have. Renard does stumble briefly, as if feeling a sudden rush of directionless air. For an instant, you'd swear he looked straight at you with cold hatred in his eyes, but there's no way he could know what you tried, and perhaps you imagined it. The next moment he simply clears his throat and carries on speaking. Delegate Rao, this is unbecoming. You're a member of the Assembly. You're aware of the proper venues to voice your dissatisfaction. Here and now is not one of them. You say that as though you've ever granted me a moment of consideration. A member of this assembly deserves, Renard. Ravenna retorts, desperation rising, voice slipping into unsteadiness. You can't forge ahead with this scheme in defiance of all objections and pretend you've treated me with dignity. What do you expect me to do, with no time left before? It takes you a moment to realise what it is that makes Ravenna swallow her words mid-sentence, why the whole plaza breaks at once into gasps and cries. For the first moment, nothing feels odd, because it's something you've seen 100 times before, something you've done yourself. The sky above you has gone pitch dark, and then, as you stare up into familiar blackness, an eye-piercing streak of white lightning cascades across the sky and impacts the ground with an enormous crash. A roll of thunder shakes the earth. This is magic of a kind you've only worked once or twice in your life. It would likely cost a star chunk as large as the one you used to resurrect Vivian. Would require control at least as fine as yours to add... as fine as yours had to be that night. Natalia Grimaldi couldn't do anything like this with the single slither she has remaining. The way she is now, you're not sure your mother could do it either. No one in Calestria is supposed to be able to do anything like this. 1. I need to know who did this. Maybe I can get them working for me. 2. I need to know who did this. Maybe I can get them to teach me their tricks. 3. I need to know who did this so I can make sure they don't hurt anyone with the stars. 4. I need to know who did this so I can teach them what happens to people who meddle with my mother's property. 5. I don't care who did this as long as I can get out of here before a riot breaks out. Dun dun dun. Free. 2. Okay. Yeah, I don't remember this part, so I'm very anxious to see what happens next. 2. Okay, 2 wins it. I need to know who did this. Maybe I can get them to teach me their tricks. Is it 4 options? Okay. The darkness in the sky vanishes so suddenly that the rush of daylight stings your eyes, blinking until you can see clearly. You're unsurprised to find that the plaza is already in pandemonium, screaming, sobbing people pushing past each other and knocking over benches as they attempt to flee. The world around you is such a rush of noise and motion that it takes you some time to realise exactly where the lightning struck. Oh, one of the white stone statues. Oh, okay, I thought it was going to have struck one of the people. Oh. is now shattered, melting wreck of ashes and blackened glass. It's closer to the entrance of the tower than to the crowd, distant enough that it might be possible no one was injured, but the mob around you is far too chaotic for you to tell for sure. Even if you were closer, the statue is warped enough that there's no way to see which rebel it depicted. But the rest of the city knows the plaza far better than you do. And you manage to pick out the statue's identity from the panicked cries all around you. It feels oddly appropriate. The statue was Renard Ghislaine. Oh. Back on the platform, the real Renard Ghislaine blinks dazedly up at the sky and collapses all at once in a heap, almost as though he can feel the statue's wounds as his own. Nobu Marden, looking a little greyish himself, but not nearly so sickly pale as Renard, staggers to his husband's side and tries to help him sit up. Most of the other delegates are stunned, frozen in their places, or retreating toward the tower doors, but Ravenna Rao strides forward, hands raised, calling for calm in a voice just as piercing as before. You can't see Harper anywhere. All you can see is a flood of terrified people who believe their city is under attack. And if you don't start moving soon, they're going to trample you underfoot. 1. I'm going to join Ravenna Rao in trying to talk the people down from their fear. 2. I'm getting out of here. I don't care how fast I have to run or whom I have to push down to do it. 3. I want to examine the statue and see if I can understand what kind of magic happened here. My mother's teachings will help. 4. I want to examine Renard Ghislaine. Did he just faint from shock? Or is there something more happening here? 5. Vivian can survey the whole plaza without giving himself away. I'll ask him for help getting out, and I won't take no for an answer. I mean, I'm pretty sure he would want to do it. Just like, what the hell? Or you know what, maybe Vivian's actually having a bit of a PTSD moment because, like, he got struck with lightning, didn't he? 1. 4. Do I need to get out my dice? Gosh, this is a long chapter. 4. Okay, what was 4? 4. I want to examine the Renard. I want to examine Renard Ghislaine. Did he just faint from shock, or is there something more happening here? Since most people are trying to get out of the plaza or into the tower, the direction of travel flows mostly away from the stage. Close as you are, it's fairly easy to brush past a few frantic runners and reach the wooden platform. The guards are either frozen in shock or occupied with the crowd, and no one stands in your way as you mount the delegates' bench and climb up onto the stage. Eyes fluttering, Renard lies sprawled across Nobu's lap, his breaths coming quickly and shallowly. Ooh. Nobu is smaller than his husband, small enough that he seems to be having some trouble balancing Renard's unsteady form. But he shakes his head when one of the few remaining delegates approaches to offer help. Just let him have some air, please, Kieran. Kieran? I'm gonna say Kieran, Nobu says, voice tense and weary. Then he turns and sees you approaching. You were with Harper, Yara earlier. His eyes narrow. We are not taking questions at this time. Okay. I just wanted to know what's wrong with him, you persist, gesturing down at Renard. Nothing your presence is improving. The look in Nobu's eyes is now approaching murderous. His grip around Renard tightens. He's upset. The reminders just turned the source's full fury on us for the first time. Everyone's upset. There's nothing for the comet here. Go now, before I call for the guard. You're not sure the guard is well organised enough right now to come for you, even if Nobu does call. But it's probably not worth the risk. Renard is a little more awake than before, but there's no more kindness for you in his half-open eyes than in Nobu's furious ones. No help from that quarter. You decide it's wisest to turn around and hop off the stage. It's almost the moment your feet touch the ground, there's a hand on your shoulder. You spin in place to see Harper Yara. You both are and aren't surprised to discover that being caught in the midst of a panicked mob has done nothing more to disturb his composure than to slightly ruffle his hair. Not bothering to raise his voice above a roar of the crowd, he nods his head to one side and gestures for you to follow him. His movements are quick and sharp, dodging easily around the crush of people. There doesn't seem to be much to do other than hurry after him. Option 1. I'm glad to see him again. I was hoping he was alright. 2. I don't like that he tracked me down in the middle of this. I want to know how and why. 3. I don't like that he tracked me down in the middle of this. I want to make sure he never does it again. 4. He doesn't know his way. He seems to know his way around, so this is my best bet to get out of this mess. 5. I'm overwhelmed. This day has been exhausting, and I think I'd do better. I'd do whatever anyone told me to at this point. 1. Okay. 4. 1 and 4. Oh, okay. Coin toss, I think. Round. Oh, kitty. 2 seconds. Play with kitty. Kitty. Kitty, kitty. Any cat. Hi, honey. Hi. I love you. Ah, kisses. Yeah. There's your seat. And come sit with Mom. Yeah. I can just barely hear him meowing from outside the door. Little baby. Little baby boy. Here's your string. No? Okay, he wants to play in his tunnel. He's got a cute little, I don't know how to explain it. It's like, I don't know the material either. It's like a little tunnel for your cat, or I guess whatever pet you've got, to play and run through. So he likes hiding in there sometimes. Anyway. 1 and 4. Okay, I'm gonna do a coin toss. It was 5. 5? Okay. The dice comes out now. 1, 4. 1, 4, 5. Okay. So, 1, 4, 5. Okay. I'll ignore 4, so we'll do 1, 2, 3. 3. So number 5. I'm overwhelmed. This day has been exhausting, and I think I'd do whatever anyone told me to at this point. Ominous. Harper is leading you past the lightning-struck statue toward an undamaged one not far away. You don't recognise the vast majority of the statues, and this one is no exception. A woman, a long halberd in her hands, hair cropped just beneath her ears. Though she's made of stone, her eyes seem almost to flash with light. You're still sure you've never seen her before, but there's something familiar about her, and those eyes and the shape of her face. Renata Ghislaine, Harper says when he sees you studying the statue. Renard's twin sister. Helped lead the rebel forces until the sorceress struck her down. Ah. He cast a speculative eye at some of the nearby statues. There are ghost stories about them, those of the statues that depict the rebels who fell, that the sorceress still wants revenge on them, even from within her grave. That she sends her lightning after them every time there's a storm. Renata in particular. She stormed the tower with her brother on the last night. died just before the fall. When he exhales, you can't quite tell if the sound is pensive or darkly amused. It's nonsense, of course. I think people tell those stories more to bother Renard than because they actually believe them. And they do bother Ray. More than almost anything else. But even so, given what just happened, I don't think there's anyone in the city who'd risk bothering us beneath this particular statue right now. You don't realise it until now. Until then. You don't realise it until then, but this specific section of the plaza is nearly empty. The cries of the crowd are still audible, but it's quieter around you than it's been in what feels like a very long time. Harper looks back at you at last, smiling faintly. I'm glad I found you, Morrigan. I can't imagine your uncle would be pleased with me if you were trampled by a mob under my supervision. 1. Thanks for the assistance. I wasn't sure how I was going to get out of there. 2. I didn't need your help, you know. 3. How did you do that? It's like the crowd parted before you. 4. I'm glad you're all right too. I wasn't sure where you went. 5. Under your supervision? Are you joking? You vanished the first chance you got. Harper's looking extra suspicious right now. Like, what, sir, what did you do? Oh my goodness. There we go. Free. That's a good boy. Yeah, oh, he's cleaning himself. Little cutie. I would die for this cat. I would do illegal things for this cat. It's a good thing he can't talk. Free. Okay, free. Oh, you playing? Oh, guys, you can't see it! He's playing with his jingle ball. Yeah? Oh my goodness. Oh, you're crazy. Oh, I love him so much. I would kill him. Sorry, I would kill for him, rather. I wouldn't kill him. Anyway, how did you do that? Free is 1, so how did you do that? It's like the crowd parted before you. Harper shrugs. Useful to know how to navigate this kind of thing in my position. I need to see the things that happen in the city to write about them, and you can't do that if you're lost in the back of the throng. He sighs, a little suddenly, and runs a hand over his face. You think it's the first time he's looked genuinely tired. Morrigan, I'm sorry, but I have to ask you something. Did Baz have anything to do with Did Baz have anything to do with this? For a moment, you just stare. With this? Harper points backward over his shoulder, toward the ruined statue. With that, the darkness, the lightning, with the city's ghost returning to torment it again after 20 years of peace. No? Option 1, no. 2, what? No. 3. How could he possibly have something to do with this? 4. Honestly, I don't know. I'm not sure I'd put it past him. 5. Yes, of course. My 60-year-old uncle used magical powers he doesn't have to blow up a statue. Cheeky. Oh! He's suddenly behind me. Sorry, he's beside me. Oh my goodness. Do you want a treat? I got cheese treats for you. Cheese treats? Oh. Yeah? Yeah, they're cheese treats. Here you go. Yum, yum, yum. Oh, he's so excited. He's turned wobbly. Yeah. You can get 2. You can have some later. Free 5. Yeah, I like 5, but I think chat has chosen free. How could he possibly have something to do with this? I wish I could answer that. Harper sighs again. Morrigan, I've known... Is there 4 options? No, there's not. Morrigan, I've known Baz for more than half my life. I like Baz, and I have known just about since I've met him that he's up to something. I don't know what his game is, but I know he has one. I think he enjoys that. Doesn't mind people getting suspicious as long as they don't know what it is that makes them feel that way. Something like this, and someone like you, a family member appearing from nowhere. I hope you can understand why I have to ask. Well, you swallow. You swallow, trying to take stock of everything that's just happened. You don't know that Baz is responsible for the attack on the plaza. You don't know that he isn't either. Aside from his loyalty to your mother, you're not entirely certain you understand Baz better than Harper does. You did ask. I answered. I mean, you kinda didn't. Pencil tapping against his side, Harper pulls the little book out from his front pocket and flips it open. I have to ask again, Morrigan, he says gently. Okay. You doubt Harper knows quite the depth of what he's asking. If you say Baz is secretly working to bring back the sorceress, you have to imagine you'd be clapped in irons before you could make it out of the plaza. Maybe you could give him a hint. But what would that do to your relationship with your only living ally in Calistri so far? Ha! Vivian. How much longer did I watch it? I want to finish the chapter, and it's been going on for like nearly 3 hours, and usually they're 2.5, so I think it's gonna finish up super quick. So, not much longer. Hopefully. Option 1. I shrug, trying to look blank. I only just met the man. If you've known him half your life, you know him better than I do. Hi, kid. No, you can't have more cheese treats. Greedy. 2. I lean in closer. You're not wrong, but I really can't tell. There you go. But I really can't tell you more now. Keep digging, you deserve to know. 3. I glower. That's my uncle you're talking about, and he's done nothing wrong. If the slander ends up in your newspaper, you'll be sorry. 4. I'm excited. I wish I could say more. I shouldn't be telling you this, but it has something to do with the sorceress. 5. I laugh at him, not kindly. Does he have his own motivations? Of course, everyone does, but nothing worth worrying over. Run along. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of hoping this chapter wraps up soon because it is getting kind of late. I think number 3 is being the... oh, what's the word? You're terrible, kitty. Is the winning vote. There we go. I glower. That's my uncle you're talking about, and he's done nothing wrong. If the slander ends up in your newspaper, you'll be sorry. Okay, yeah. Keep talking. Harper scribbles something in his book, quietly chuckling as he does. I'm sorry, he says after a moment. You're fairly certain the apology is for the laughter, not the insult. It's just, if it ended up in my newspaper, it wouldn't be slander. It would be, oh, for just a moment, Harper's eyes flicker to something behind you, and then he cuts off and changes topic so quickly it's hard to figure out what just happened. Captain, it looks like things are calming down. Is Ray doing any better? You turn around to see M. Marden Ghislaine. A short distance away, not exactly approaching you, their uniform is rumpled. Their grey cloak missing entirely, but what immediately draws your attention so quickly that you can't believe it isn't what Harper asked about, is the dog slung over their shoulder. It's on the smaller side of average, black furred with wide brown eyes. It's almost trembling. It's also trembling. You can just barely tell. Though it's drawing closer to M rather than pulling away. If something's frightened the creature, you don't think it was them. M absently stroked the dog's back, looking entirely unbothered by the wait. Oh, Mr. Yara, you're still here. You should really go home. Suddenly they blink, standing a bit straighter. Wait, what was that about? What was that about Da? Da. I wasn't watching, I was distracted. Did something happen to Da? Oh my god. Sir. Could just, I know, but it's so close to the end. Oh, just that he was looking rather unwell when I last saw him, but I'm sure it was only the shock. Harper pauses and gives a quiet cough. The surprise, sorry, per choice of words. M gives Harper a long, dubious frown. They crane their neck toward the podium, but you doubt they can see what's happening over there any better than you can. 1. Was it the dog that distracted you? The dog you're carrying? 2. Why do you have a dog? 3. Whose dog is that? 4. Am I the only one who can see the dog? 5. Don't worry, I'm sure your father's fine. Also, you have a dog. Oh my goodness. 4. Okay. It will end soon, I swear. I'll make it. 4. Am I the only one who can see the dog? I can see him, M says, still looking toward the podium. I assumed he was work-related. Harper puts in. Okay. M clears their throat as they turn back to you. It's something like that, yes. You blink. So whose dog is it? There's an agonizing long pause during which M winces and starts to turn red. That's classified. Okay. They say it at last. You're having trouble imagining why M is so obviously loath to give you any information whatsoever about the dog. Before you can contemplate trying another question, M looks up at the statue behind you, their blush at once replaced with a deep frown. Mr. Yara, they say slowly, pardon me, what are you doing here? I'm working, Harper says, shrugging. M breathes out slowly through their nostrils. Not here at the conference, they say. Here. It's a long time before Harper answers. You're not quite sure why, until you remember that the statue you're standing beneath, the one Harper said that people of Ecclestria believe might be haunted or cursed, depicts M's deceased aunt. It's quiet here, Harper says eventually. M's posture relaxes at that, but only for a moment before you catch sight of something beyond the statue and go rigid again. Gasp. Sprinting around the base of the statue is Natalia Grimaldi. Her dark skin flushed with exhaustion as she gasps for air. Her eyes flit frantically back and forth as she searches for something until she catches sight of M and the dog and skids to a very sudden halt. What? Natalia says, still taking rapid gulps of air. What's happening? She leans heavily to one side, taking the weight off her injured ankle, clearing their throat and trying very hard to look nonchalant. M sets down the dog. There you are, Miss Grimaldi. I've been looking. M gives the still shaking dog a pat. And there you are, Vivi. Oh. Go along, you know her. Why do you know my dog's name? Natalia blinks. Wait, no, why do you recognize my dog, M? M ignores the question, staring at Vivi, who still hasn't moved. Go on, you're fine now, they murmur. Is this happening? Is this a dream? Am I dreaming? Natalia demands M. I'm not resisting. Are you going to arrest me or not? Not for something you didn't do. M busies himself with scratching behind Vivi's ears. Miss Grimaldi, I knew you didn't do this the moment Vivi came barreling into me. He hates storms and lightning. You wouldn't bring him here and do something like this. This time Natalia just stares in amazement, mouth open, while M steadily develops a deeper and deeper blush. Vivi finally recovers enough to leave M's side and sprint toward his owner. But all she does when he collides with her legs is lower one limp hand to his head without looking down. Of course I didn't do it, but I don't understand, Emeraldine. You've never met my dog. Now bright red, M shoves their hair back from their face. Now, Natalia, of course I've met your dog. Oh. Bye, Arlen. Bye. Have a good night. Oh my god, it keeps going. Natalia is shocked silent as M explains. It was 8 years ago, 9? That one was just a puppy. Your parent had one of their last appointments to talk nonsense at the tower. You came along with Vivi in your arms, and I told you you couldn't bring a dog into the Sublime Tower. But you said you had to because it was storming and he hated thunder and lightning, so you couldn't leave him at home. I gather you don't remember. No, now I do, Natalia says, her expression far away. You said your dad didn't like lightning either, and you let me bring Vivi in. M coughs. I shouldn't have. As if it was your decision, Natalia starts to snicker. You weren't on the guard when you were 14. You just liked hovering around the tower door and pretending. Aw. For a moment, 5. For a moment, all the captain of the Sublime Guard, all the captain of the Sublime Guard and the most famous of the Grim Reminders do is stare at each other. You get the impression that neither of them remembers that you and Harper are present. Present. 1. I like this. If not for their positions, they might get along well. I encourage them to ignore their doubts and keep talking. 2. I don't care what they do, but if they're distracting each other, they'll pay me less mind. I stay quiet and let them talk. 3. This is ridiculous. I give them a harsh reminder that they're enemies. 4. This is a mistake. M should be bringing Natalia to justice. I urge them to remember their responsibilities. 5. This is a mistake. Natalia needs to bring the Reminder's vision true. I urge her to flee. Mm. 1. Goodness. 1. Excellent, we all agree. I like this. If not for their possessions, they might get along well. I encourage them to ignore their doubts and keep talking. The two of you know each other then, you prompt. Aside from the obvious way you know each other, I mean. M jumps and Natalia gives you a wide-eyed blank, more or less confirming they'd forgotten about you. That's not, M begins. I mean, I wouldn't say no, Natalia says at the same time. They both break off to stare at each other until M, who is somehow still managing to turn even redder than before, gestures for Natalia to continue. It's just, I used to go along with Baba to the tower sometimes. Baba'd make official appointments with Ray Ghislaine and the others back then, when the assembly was still pretending they'd listen to reason if Baba kept asking politely. The mention of the conflict they're both enmeshed and brings the conversation to an abrupt halt as M and Natalia exchange a very different look than before. You struggle to think of something to fill the silence before either of them can think too hard about what they're doing, but nothing comes to mind. And you watch M and Natalia draw back from each other, the near camaraderie of a moment ago gone. M clears their throat loudly. Miss Grimaldi, this doesn't need to get any worse than it already is, but that's up to you. I know you weren't responsible for what just happened, but with your connections, I can't believe you don't have some idea who is. Please, for the sake of Calistri, tell me what you know. Natalia smirks. So Vivi was a peace offering, I get it. She pauses. But why'd you give him back right away? Why not withhold him until I gave you what you want? Em blinks. I'm not going to hold your pet hostage, Miss Grimaldi. They look honestly baffled, as though the idea never occurred to them. Oh, Emeraldine, you really aren't cut out for this, are you? Natalia shakes her head, laughing softly before Em can form an indignant retort. The wind whips up around you, and both Natalia and Vivi start rising into the sky. Okay. With the image of a flying dog. Afraid I can't stay, can't let many people see me using the stars right now. Natalia calls down from the air. But I'm touched by your faith in me. Thanks for looking after Vivi. And sorry about your dad exploding and all. She keeps rising higher, drifting away on the breeze. For a long moment, Em just turns their eyes to the ground. When they lift their head, they're looking not at you, but at Harper, who's been silently busying himself with his book. Mr. Yara, Em says tentatively, is there any chance of you not writing this down? Harper promises promises that not everything he writes in his book ends up in the newspaper, which Em obviously doesn't find comforting, and they both depart. All at once, you're the only one left beneath the statue of Renata Ghislaine. The shouting has receded, though the plaza is still packed with people who haven't managed to escape. It almost feels like you're alone. 1. I wonder if Natalia and the remainders are really innocent in this. 2. I wonder if Baz did have something to do with this. 3. I wonder if there's any way my mother could have had a hand in this. 4. I wonder if someone could have gotten the true remnant stars before I did. 5. Ugh. I wonder how long I'm going to have to fight the foot traffic to get back to Baz's house. Pardon me. Oh my goodness. Cheese treat. Cheese treat. Yeah. Cheese treats. What a good boy. 2. Yeah, I don't remember what's going on right now, so maybe it was Baz. Because he's... Maybe it was... No, it wouldn't be Harper. I think Harper's hiding something, but, like, I think Baz is the only person 100% missing right now. 2 or 3. I think... Maybe it was the mother. I think we're gonna go with 3. Because Baz knows things, but I don't think he's powerful. And I think the only other person I can think of is the mother. So let's go with 3. I wonder if there's any way my mother could have Hannah in this. Oh, okay, we're gonna end. Okay. Of course, you're never really alone anymore. As you're reminded when Vivian drifts into view in front of you. Vivi, he snarls. The remainder girl called her dog Vivi. Absolutely unbelievable. How is every second of this more of a nightmare than dying was? You just shake your head, feeling suddenly exhausted, without any conscious intention. You find your eyes drifting to the Sublime Tower's massive form. Vivian follows your gaze. Ah, right, he says. It can always get worse. Yay! We finished chapter 3! It took a while! Like I said, this... you know what? I don't even remember. It's got a few million words, I think. So, yay. Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I wonder if you have any theories. I'll probably check out the Discord and talk about that. Yeah. Yay! No, I've got one. Cat. What is that even called? Yay. There we go. Took me a bit. Yeah, I like that it gave us a lot more with the other characters. Like, we got to see this is definitely going to be a lot more complicated than we thought it would be, and I'm remembering why I really like this story, because it is a bit more complicated than you'd think. Like, everybody's got their own motivations. Like, I'm pretty sure Harper and Emeraldine are both not Harper. Emeraldine and what's his name? Well, their name. The guard. Or is that Emeraldine? Yeah, no, it is Natalia. I think Natalia and Emeraldine are both romance options, but I think if you don't romance either of them. Ah, yeah, no, I didn't see that other message, so it didn't send, I guess. Weird. Yeah, I'm excited about what comes next, because we're gonna find out what the hell's going on, and I suspect we're gonna find out what's going on with you know, I don't know if we want to be reading the text messages between the mum and her maybe consort lover, maybe husband, who knows how that went down. I don't know if we want to be reading their private messages, so but I have a feeling that's what we're gonna do. I forgot my train of thought, but yeah, I really like this story. I have a feeling. Oh, that's why I was saying, yeah, if you don't romance either of them, I think they do get together, which is also nice. I think it's very close to a Dragon Age-esque game, is why I like this story so much. But I think I played this. No, I couldn't have. I was gonna say I think I played this before I played a Dragon Age game, but I doubt it. I don't think it's that old. But yeah, yeah. I still want to romance Vivian again. He's just too damn likable. Yeah, I'll probably be on the Discord after. I think we're gonna wrap up now because it's getting super duper late. We're gonna do this again next Tuesday. Yeah, I've got nothing going on next Tuesday, so same time next week. Hopefully it won't be as long, because it is quite a strain. Oh? Quizzes? Ah. Yeah, I think the closest thing I have to this is it's the same thing, choice of games, but it was like choice of the dragon. I think there was choice of the vampire, choice of the dragon, choices of court, but it's like, oh, you're going to court because you're coming out into society. You need to better your fam. That was a good one. I mean, yeah, romance text-based, like, romance games are just fun. It's like reading a good book, but you get to make the choices. Anyway, like I said, I was gonna wrap up. I'll probably message in the Discord and stuff. Yeah, thank you for joining. Same time next week. Yeah. Yep. Hope you have a good night. Yeah, good night. Bye bye. Oh. My mic is still on. Never mind. Bye.